Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft, here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Guys, how we doing?
Jenny, how are you?
Sharpe-a-damas.
Really?
You heard that score I called yesterday, Skip Bayless?
Wait a second. Oh, you mean your prediction?
Yeah.
Except that was yesterday, but the day before, you predicted Golden State would win Game 1, and you were trying to bet me across the table a case that Golden State would beat Toronto, and I said, I am not going to bet on number 2's team.
But I wised up.
Oh, you wised up, and then you turned back into Sharpe-a-damas,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And my question is, did number 2 even, did he play
Don't do
last
that,
night?
Skip. Don't do that.
I don't remember.
That's pretty harsh,
Maybe
Skip.
my TV fogged out. I don't know. Maybe I was on the wrong channel. Maybe I was watching some classic or something.
Well, I see you in your all black today.
Yeah.
But we got to give it up. Home team got us today, Skip.
Really?
I'm ready.
Looked unbelievable today.
Thank
That's
you,
a great
Shannon.
outfit.
Well, hey, we're going to have a great show then.
But
We
I'm
have
gonna
so
beat
much
you
to
down.
get to on today's show.
You getting beat
We're just
down.
hearing this. Will Kevin Durant really be back when the series heads back to Oakland? We'll break that down. And is Drake already in the Warriors' heads? But let's start right. Let's get right into Game 1. The city of Toronto was out in force for the first ever finals game outside of the United States, but the Raptors weren't nervous at all in their debut. Kawhi Leonard had 23 points and 8 rebounds, but the story of the game was Pascal Siakam. He gave the Warriors fits, beating them down the floor all night and finishing with a team-high 32 points. 32
who?
points.
Siakam?
Yep. Steph
Pascal.
Curry and Klay Thompson combined for 55 points. Draymond had his third straight triple-double, but Golden State suffered the first Game 1 loss in the finals under Steve Kerr. Take a listen to Klay and Draymond after the game on Siakam's big night.
He played an amazing game, obviously, but, you know, he got out in transition. A lot of our transition D was horrible, and I let him get in the rhythm in the first half, first quarter, really. So I got to do a better job of taking his rhythm away, and I will, but, you know, he had a great game.
We're not very familiar with this team, but that's no excuse. You know, it's still got to come out here, and our goal was to get one, and it's still on the table for us. So I know we'll respond like the champions we are.
Shannon, what happened last night?
Yeah, Shannon, what did happen?
Well, the Raptors played very well, but I thought the supporting cast of the Raptors, Skip, they did what they were supposed to do. Sometimes when you're a superstar, and Kawhi's a superstar, he's being battled with injuries, and I told you that.
Oh, so he's got the injury excuse
Don't do that,
going
Skip.
again.
Skip.
You just brought it up. I didn't say a word.
You saw Kawhi running. Kawhi looked like you and I.
America, he just did it again. You heard him?
Did you see Kawhi running yesterday?
One time he limped.
No, he
That
limped
was a
away.
record low for him.
I mean, I thought he was stepping on hot coals.
Yeah,
but
okay, let's see. You're having a bad game, so you start limping in the third
Skip.
quarter. Is that how it works?
It's my turn.
Playing-
It's
Well,
my
you
turn.
brought it
It's
up.
my
Shannon's turn.
And I finished it.
Shannon, floor is yours.
I thought the supporting cast of the Raptors were unbelievable. Obviously, Siakam with the game that he had 32 points, and as Draymond said, that he got into a rhythm early. He saw the ball go in, and once he saw the ball go in, he started getting more and more aggressive, getting out in transition, got some easy baskets. And another thing, what you're starting to see, Skip, is that everybody that plays the Warriors, they always try to get the pick and roll. They want to put Steph in a pick and switch. You saw Gasol get him a couple of times. You saw Siakam get him a couple of times. Kawhi was trying to get him in the pick and roll. That's the advantage that they have, is that Steph Curry, although he's great on the offensive end, he's somewhat of a liability on the defensive end if you can get him one-on-one. But he does play great help defense, Skip. He will very active with his hands. He can steal the ball if you're not paying attention to him. But when you get him in that switch, and he has to go one-on-one and help can't come, now you have a decided advantage.
Did Houston get him in a switch? Did Portland get him in a switch?
They tried.
Okay.
They didn't take advantage of it with their bigs.
Okay.
I mean, come on, Skip.
Yep.
I mean, Aminu, really? You thought Aminu was going to do something. Stop. But why do you keep doing this, Skip, baby?
I'm trying to keep you on track.
I'm sorry that you upset that.
You wander off
That
line.
Kawhi one step closer. He's 3 games away from your worst nightmare.
Yeah. Well, he had nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
don't do this, Skip. Don't do that. But Marc Gasol, I thought Marc Gasol played unbelievable.
He was unbelievable.
Considering the foul trouble that he got in, Skip. So he only played less than 30 minutes, but he still gave him 20 points.
Okay.
7 rebounds.
Yep.
And only had 1 assist. Van Fleet, although he did cool down from the 3-point line, he was unbelievable, Skip, coming in off the bench.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
Somebody except number 2 is unbelievable. Go ahead. Keep
five,
going.
5 of 8.
Keep going. You're doing well. I like it.
Because what we saw from Van Fleet is that the first 3 games in Milwaukee, a little shaky.
Okay.
But the last 3, he was phenomenal, and he picked right up where he left off. Serge Ibaka came in and gave him some great minutes. But this is what you have to have. I was surprised. I did not know Kawhi played 43 minutes last night. It didn't seem like he played that many.
So he was hurt and he
That's
played 43. How did he do that? It's a miracle.
Because
America, or Canada. America and Canada, it's a miracle.
Or North America. How about that?
All of it.
How about this, Skip? Is that when you're an athlete, if you've played with injury, the hardest thing to do is to play with an injury for the very first time, or if you're hurt. But once you understand how to navigate that, pick your spots. Okay, I can burst here, I can't there. I can get there, I can't. And so I think being able to do that against Milwaukee, it helped him in this game. Kawhi Leonard is not even anywhere close to 100%, but no one is. I don't know if Kawhi is even close to 90%, or maybe even 85%. But somehow, even though he did not shoot the ball, he found a way to put his imprint on the game by getting to the free throw line. And Skip, you like that? He was 10 or 12.
Wow.
Can I interest you in that?
Jenny's the show over. I haven't even spoken yet.
We got time.
Do we?
Don't worry.
But go ahead.
Yeah.
But I was very impressed with the way
I'm nodding off over here.
Already?
Is it my turn now?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I told you last Monday, that was the first crack we had at this, because we had 4 shows before they were going to play another game. And right out of the box on Monday, I said, Toronto will win game 1 at home. And I stuck by it all week.
Yeah.
Why was that? Last night was not a fair fight for the Golden State Warriors. They had too many days off, 9 long days off, and they were coming off a cakewalk of a series against Portland. Portland just might have been the worst defensive team in all the playoffs. They were certainly one of the bottom feeders in defense. And all of a sudden, you took Golden State off 9 days off and you threw them into that Toronto fire. And I heard reporter after reporter at the game site last night say, man, we've never seen anything like this or felt anything like it in the finals. Toronto is on fire for the Raptors, in part because of number 2, but in larger part because they're really good.
Yeah.
They beat Golden State twice in the regular season, albeit very early in November and December, but they believe they can beat this team, and they came out and just flat out beat them in every way, shape, or form. I actually thought the Warriors played pretty well, all things considered. Steph was pretty good. Clay was pretty good.
Outside of the first quarter.
Yeah. Well, again, I warned you they were going to have a hard time in the first quarter, right?
Yeah.
They scored 21 points. Is that Golden State basketball?
No.
Right? 21 points. Do you realize they were 10 of 44 on contested shots? That's not Golden State. Why is it? Because what did I tell you yesterday? Toronto is the best defensive team I saw in all the playoffs. So it's going from Portland to the best defensive team. It's shell shock last night in Toronto for the visiting team.
You're right.
And they got knocked on their behinds. And now we see if they can get up off their behinds for game 2. But now for my 2 bigger picture takeaways from what I saw last night. Again, maybe I need a new TV. I don't know.
You do. You keep saying
my
that.
old black and white one, it doesn't work very well.
Stop being cheap.
I got to get a new one.
Update TVs every year.
Takeaway number 1. Number 2 sure has a lot of help. Nobody ever talks about all the help except me. That's a good basketball team, right? You so eloquently and brilliantly detailed all the help that he had, and I appreciate it because you're making the case I've been making for weeks. This is a good team that goes deep. So that's takeaway number 1. Now, takeaway number 2. Are you sure that number 2 is Toronto's best player? I'm not sure about that.
You are sure.
I am really not sure about that because number 43 is really good.
He is.
I've been telling you. Look out for that guy. He's going to make a lot of all-defensive teams, but last night, he sure looked like the best two-way player on the floor to me. Did he not look like that to you?
Yeah, that's the same 43 that averaged 14 points over 16 games against the Bucks. That's the same guy now.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because let's look at what he did last night, just for starters. So he makes 14 of 17 shots.
It's unbelievable.
He makes 2 of 3 threes. He does come up with 8 rebounds, which tied number 2 for the team lead, right? 8. He had 5 assists. That's pretty good for a man of his size. And he had 2 blocks because he is a defensive demon. He, above all, helps make them the defensive team that they are because he is a rim protector.
Yes.
So he made 9 of 12 shots that were contested. That's outrageously good.
Yeah.
So Golden State's a very good defensive team. And remember, he was doing much of the damage to the guy who the day before said, I'm the greatest defensive player ever.
Wow.
Ever?
So I guess Siakam's the greatest offensive
well,
player.
wait a minute. Something's got to give there, right? Okay, so he makes 11 straight shots last night, which is the longest streak in the finals in the last 20 years. So is that just a blip? Was that a one-night wonder of a game from this guy? Would you believe that during the regular season that Pascal Siakam had 12 games of at least 25-plus scoring, and he had 5 more of those games in the playoffs. So he's gone 25-plus 17 times this year. I don't think it's a blip. I think it's a trend.
Right.
I think that's just who he is.
We don't know if he's going to shoot 14 to 17. Okay. We don't believe that'll happen.
He had 5 games during the regular season of 30-plus points, and that's having to share the ball and the load with the new superstar number 2, right?
Yeah, he ain't the new superstar. He was the superstar when he got there.
Well, again, we weren't sure what he was.
Yes, we do. We were very sure.
Well, he quit last year, so
stop.
I didn't even know if he wanted to play basketball anymore.
Skip.
I didn't know.
The guy is a 2-time defensive player of the year and a Finals MVP.
That's ancient history. Ancient history.
Okay, I remember you said that now.
So remember, Siakam has a career high of 44 points. So is he capable of scoring 32 on Golden State? Well, sure he is, right? Okay. So now let's look at their size. So I don't know if people understand. Siakam is 6 feet 9 inches tall, 230 pounds. And your guy number 2 is 6 feet 7 inches tall, 230 pounds. So Siakam's got potential to be at least that explosive. Am I right? So now let's go back to the first game that Toronto beat Golden State. It was in Toronto back in November, and it went to overtime because KD, who obviously did not play last night, scored 51 points in that game, and your guy number 2 scored 37. But then what happened in overtime? Siakam took over in overtime and scored the key 7 points that turned the tide. Number 2 in that overtime scored 0. He scored 0 points because he often fades in the clutch.
Don't do that, Skip.
Well, I'm just telling you, he just does, which brings me to, I tweeted this before the game started, and it happened again right on schedule last night. The closer for that team, if you look at your box score, is Van Vliet. And I know he was in a slump for a while before the 2 of them had their baby. Obviously, you keep correcting me, but it's their child.
Yeah.
She had it, obviously, but
he's part of it.
He had something to do with it, didn't he?
It's emotional.
Okay, all right.
Know that you're about to have a kid.
Once that got done, once that got cleared of his head, then he started to play the way he's been playing all year for them. So who led Toronto in scoring in the fourth quarter last night? Van Vliet. He is the closer. And let me also just bring this back into perspective. Do you realize that with 10:38 left in the game last night, that DeMarcus Cousins made a free throw that cut the lead all the way to 3? So it's a 3-point game with 10:38 left. What did we see Golden State continue to do against Houston and Portland? Well, they'd just be like, here we go. It's time. Flip the switch. Here we go. We got this. Because most teams just shrink and genuflect in the face of Steph Clay's onslaught in the fourth quarter, right?
Skip, it's hard not to, like, go into a shell. If you're up by 18, you're up by 15, and all of a sudden in 2 minutes, it's down to a 3-point ball game. You're like, we had our chance. We just blew our chance. But every run that the Warriors got, Toronto snuffed it out.
But how did this one get snuffed? Because Golden State's on a run, and it's cut to 3. DeMarcus actually had 2 free throws and missed the second one. Could have cut it to 2. And it felt like the game's starting to teeter toward the visiting team, right? Then guess who goes to the other end, if we could see this? Van Vliet just takes it upon himself to say, I got this. And he dribbles the ball off the floor, and he keeps the ball, and he goes on Jerebko. That's a hard shot that he just made. And it's one of those game turners where all of a sudden Toronto bench and the guys on the floor look around and say, wait a second, our guy he just did that.
Yeah.
That pushes the lead back to 5, and they were never again threatened.
Well, they were threatened again. They cut it back down to 5, and then old Kawhi came and hit that 3 on Looney.
No.
Somebody sent me a tweet. You talk about he could do that to Looney. You already know Kawhi Looney.
So you're stalking me?
No,
you're stalking me. He stalks me every night. Somebody sent me a tweet.
You see Kawhi started dancing. I said,
Okay, well, I'm glad you brought that up.
Dance on him, Kawhi.
Again, I love the ABC guys. I know them all very well, all the announcers, the whole announced team. And so this is nothing personal against them, but there's this whole overreaction to anything number 2 does because he's already been placed on the highest pedestal. He's the best player in the playoff. And again, I keep hearing announcers say, he's had one of the great runs in the history of the playoffs. So he's doing nothing in the game, and all of a sudden he gets a switch on to Kevon Looney.
Yes.
And it was not a game-turning shot. That was the game-turning shot. But what happens? So he gets a switch on a big man who's obviously slow-footed. I mean, he probably shouldn't even be starting. Okay? And what does he do? He's like, what would any shooter do? Oh, I got this. And he pulls up and makes a 3. Can you believe that shot? Do you believe the switch? Come on. It happens every night in every NBA game.
Kawhi told us, hey,
Really?
Kevin, Kevon, I saved this last dance for
He
you.
probably called him Kevin.
You called him Kevon?
He has no respect.
Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that.
Called him
But
Kevin.
Skip, at some point in time, look, you're going to have to give Kawhi credit. Although he was not at his best, what the really good ones can do when they're not at their best, they can still find a way to impact.
You know who I'm going to
game.
give credit to? Let's start with Danny Green. I predicted yesterday he would snap out of his slump and make 4 threes, and he did make 3, and the 4th one lipped out.
Yes.
It went around and around and lipped out, right?
11 big points.
Okay, so it helps. It's like it's an explosive new piece to the puzzle that they have not had. And then how about the man Mountain Gasol to make 6 of 10 shots and he makes 2 more threes? How much does it crush the psyche of the visiting team when they, like Steve Kerr said after the game, those are called dare shots. We just dare him.
Right.
We dare you to make that.
Right.
And he just stands there and he kind of sizes it up and he's
it was another one, too, that Van Fleet had. The shot clock was running down. And he just threw it up.
Okay, well, that was lucky.
That was huge. That was a huge shot for him.
He kind of willed that in, but he can will it in, and he is the guts of that team in the 4th quarter. And then, again, Van Vliet, and they usually get so much off the bench from Norman Powell. See, he didn't even play him. And I got to compliment Nick Nurse. He's pushing every correct button on schedule.
We didn't see Patrick McCaw in any of the last series, and then he gets 4 minutes and he hits a big 3.
Yep. So
that had to make him feel good because he came from the Warriors.
Okay. So now Toronto is 3-0 this year against Golden State.
Yeah.
You don't think their confidence is going through the roof of that building?
Absolutely.
Sure.
And Skip, everybody kept talking about how the atmosphere was electric.
Yeah.
But the difference between them is that they've never been in this situation.
No.
Now we see how they are for the playoffs. Now this is the NBA Finals. We have a chance to win the NBA Finals against the Warriors. The Warriors, Skip, this is the 5th time. Obviously, the 5th time is not going to be like the very first time. This is the Raptors' very first time. So they're going to be crazy. Now, let me tell you what's going to be even crazier. Game 2 atmosphere, because they got 1 win already up under their belt. Can you imagine? They're going to be sitting pretty like, man, if we get this, we're going to be up 2-0, and then we still got 2 games to come back here to do what we need to do. Skip, the really great players like Kawhi, even when they're hurt or injured, whatever term you want to use, they can find a way to impact the ball game, be it scoring, rebound, assisting the basketball, or playing defense. I'm looking at him. He couldn't turn the corner like he wanted to. There are some times that he got close.
You got to stop with
Stop
this.
it, Skip.
You got to quit alibying for him.
I'm not alibying.
He's the alibi king. He is. Seriously. The alibi king.
No, he couldn't.
He's also the limping legend.
He couldn't step on the gas.
Oh, wait, I'm having a bad game. I got a limp. And then the whole world will say I'm hurt. I'm good. Thank you.
No, he couldn't turn the corner like he wanted to. He had some opportunities. He couldn't step on the gas. But that's okay.
Couldn't step on the
Couldn't
gas.
step on it. He couldn't step on it.
You know what happened last night?
What?
The real claw, the true claw, is Andre Iguodala, and he happens to play for the Golden State Warriors.
Iguodala can't hold a candle to Kawhi Leonard on the defensive end. Stop.
he put out his candle last night is what he did, because the guy who was putting handcuffs on number 2 was Andre Iguodala.
So we gonna pretend like they weren't trapping him every time to get the ball out of his hand. So we gonna pretend. Oh, no.
The trapper, the key, the spearhead of that defense was Iguodala.
No, Skip, stop now. See, I'm not gonna let you mislead the public.
Oh, I'm not.
No.
I think you need to be led into the truth.
This is a PSA.
That's what I saw last night.
PSA.
Yeah.
Andre Iguodala had help.
Yeah.
They doing everything they possibly could to get the ball out of Kawhi's hand. If they got so much confidence in Iggy, go head up with it.
Locked him up.
Don't do that.
Put the cuffs on him. You know, he had the cuffs on him where he couldn't even dribble. He's like trying to dribble with both hands, and it's a double dribble, right? I don't know.
And he started dancing, getting them free throws.
Really?
That's what you do.
He did get
That's what you do, Skip.
Really?
And he only took 14 shots. What superstar you know going to take in an NBA Finals game just going to take 14 shots? Stop
What do I
it.
tell you about this guy? I watched him for 7 long years. Number 1, perpetually injured. He was on every injury report.
Okay, might be a little fragile.
Ever issued by the San Antonio Spurs for 7 years. And the bigger and hotter the spotlight, the smaller he plays.
No, he don't play small.
Okay.
I knew he was going to have a good game. He got his hair freshly done. That thing was
Did
freshly.
he?
Yeah.
How do you know it was freshly done?
Because I know.
It might just stay done.
No,
I don't know. Right?
No.
Huh?
He ain't going to take it out.
Yeah?
Now, that thing hurt too much. No, you don't pull that out.
I think somebody was going to wear his cornrows wig today, and he realized this is not the day.
Not yet.
Somebody.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But there's a possibility you might see it on Monday.
If you had worn it, then you would have upstaged Miss Taft.
No,
right?
that's what I'm saying. Because I knew she had something special. I heard a birdie told me she had something special.
Probably she told you.
No, she didn't tell me. Because, this is the last day, Skip, so, she was like going to go out with a bang.
Oh, really?
I get it. Yeah.
Well, she's not leaving the show.
No, I'm just saying.
No.
She got to pull double duty. She moonlighting on Skip. But, we found
Going to Gay Paris, is that
right? Leaving us
I'll
behind.
be back, guys. Don't you worry.
But at some point, you're going to have to give two credit and realize it's not all about scoring. Because you know what I noticed about you? Now, let Michael Jordan have a game like this. Did you see how he impacted the game? He's so impactful, even when he doesn't score. Let Kobe do something like this. Oh, he's so impactful. The man was 5 of 14. No, did he shoot the ball well? No. And one of the things that happen when you're injured, especially, Skip, can you imagine having tendonitis? Just, to the normal average person at home, I want you to find you a small rock and put it in your shoe and walk around with it for 43 minutes. Because that's what tendonitis is for a basketball player, because you're running, planting, cutting, and jumping for 43 minutes. That's what Kawhi did, Skip Bayless.
It was his thigh, and then it changed to his knee. Because the thigh was getting, the excuse was wearing thin.
What happened when you just skip that? They say when you lose some of your senses, smell, taste, touch, the others will compensate. So if you start to compensate in one area, what would happen, Skip?
I don't know.
You do know.
Kyle Lowry says he can't even feel his left thumb, but I don't know how he's playing. He looked pretty good last night.
If Kyle Lowry left-handed?
He has to throw passes left-handed.
Well, no, he doesn't. He mainly.
How did he lead them with 9 assists last night?
What,
he's pretty good, that guy's got a lot of help.
So look,
yeah.
You run. You've had injuries.
Oh,
and what happens?
Every injury known to man.
And when you start compensating, what happens? You hurt something else.
I just fix it.
No, you don't just fix nothing.
Or I run through it.
No, run through it. But see, there's a difference between running.
See, to me, what I know about tendonitis is once it gets hot, you forget about it. It's later that it just kills you.
Well, that's probably why he's playing as many minutes as he is, because they don't want to run the risk of having him sit down and it stiffen up. But they do have hot packs and heating things of that nature on the side. But you need to tell the truth.
Does he have torn meniscus? No. Does he have a torn ligament? Obviously not.
Skip.
So stop. Stop with it.
There's a difference between you having tendonitis and running on the treadmill.
I understand. I would agree with that.
To coming in here and doing a show and then him playing at the highest level.
Although I've run 26.2 miles with lots of kinds of tendonitis all over my body, and it's hard, man. But it just goes numb. That's what happens.
Well, you must have tendonitis in your jaw because you taking the L today. So are you hurt?
L?
Are you hurt?
What are you talking
you
about?
Taking
We're just getting going.
Yeah, he down 1-0-1.
We're not there yet.
You down 0-1.
I told you exactly what was going to happen last night, right?
Shannon,
I told you what was going to happen.
Decide around here who gets
You know what? I don't know who's more delusional, you or the public that loves number 2. It's somewhere, or maybe you're the leader of the band. I don't know.
You called that one. You called that one for the first 20 minutes, Skip. Go ahead and take it. It's okay.
Really?
I'll give you an opportunity. Hold on. You got another 2 hours
You know
to try to
what?
redeem
I hope
yourself.
some people in our audience truly believe you so that they think this is a fair fight, because that game last night was not.
It was fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to get more difficult if that tall, skinny guy don't come back very soon.
He might. We're going to talk about that.
Well, somehow, guys, Drake, he keeps finding a way into
Your guy.
our show.
He was MIA last night also until the final buzzer.
You know, a couple of things. Is he already in Draymond Green's head? We'll discuss everything that went on there. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Adam Silver said yesterday that the NBA told Raptors superfan Drake, quote, "There's got to be lines drawn with his antics on the sidelines in the playoffs." Last night, Drake, while wearing a Del Curry throwback jersey, appeared to listen to that note, but at the end of the game, not so much. Drake got into it with Draymond Green and appeared to call him, quote, trash. Draymond talked about the incident later, but he just didn't want to hear the word scuffle. Take a listen.
Just wanted you to talk a little bit about that post-game scuffle between you and Drake.
You got a question about basketball? It wasn't really a scuffle because I didn't hit him and he didn't hit me, or I didn't push him and he didn't push me. We talked. We barked a little bit, but I wouldn't necessarily consider that a scuffle. Not really what I personally would consider a scuffle.
Yikes. Shannon, what did you make of the post-game incident?
I wouldn't consider that a scuffle either, Draymond. I love the way Drake behaved throughout the entirety of the game until the very end. Skip, I believe this should be beneath Drake because we keep saying he's a fan. He's also the ambassador. He's also basically an affiliate. He's also personnel of the Raptors. That should be beneath him, Skip Bayless. He's not the guy that works 9 to 5 or the female that works 9 to 5 and goes to the game and yell and scream. That's one thing. But a guy worth $150 million carrying on like this, Skip, don't you think that should be beneath Drake?
No.
It should be. Can you imagine? I couldn't imagine Denzel doing that. Can you imagine Denzel? What about Beyonce?
No.
Can you imagine that, Skip?
I don't think so.
I can't. I mean, it should be. And you know, there's a difference. When the teacher calls your parents, that's one thing. When the principal calls, that's something entirely different. See, if someone in the league office would have had a conversation, Drake probably would have brushed that off. But Adam Silver, who's the best in the biz right now as far as commissionership goes.
I give you that.
He called him to the office. Said, look here, bro.
Yeah.
There are lines. Although they're imaginary, you stepping over them.
Yeah.
Now, I need you to act accordingly or else. Or else.
What is or else?
He don't want to find out.
What? I'm going to send you to jail?
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry
Come
about it.
on.
All that's unnecessary, Skip. You don't
Okay.
need to find. See, your head was hard as a little boy. I can tell right now. See, your parents tell you something and you just got to go, oh, what you going to do, Mom? What you gonna
I
do?
had no rules.
Yeah. That was the problem.
I know.
That was, see,
It was the
now
problem.
I got to put some rules down on you.
Yeah.
But hold on. I remember probably like a week ago, I thought Draymond said he wasn't paying Drake no mind.
He said that.
He said,
thank you for pointing that out.
He said Drake can't shoot no shots.
Yeah.
He can't make any passes.
He said
I'm
that.
not worried about Drake.
Aha.
And come to find out, walking off the court, he hit Drake's face.
Interesting.
So, but I love the way he behaved. But let me tell you what's going to happen, Skip. I believe he might ratchet it up a little bit because game 2, they already got one game in pocket. So Drake, just remember what the commissioner said. We have lines, we have boundaries, and we need you to operate inside those boundaries, Skip Bayless. There's behavior, there's protocol that must be adhered to at all costs. The world is watching, Drake. Behave.
He knows it.
Okay, first things first. Let's go to the end. Post buzzer, finally, Drake sprang back to life because until the buzzer,
you didn't know
it looked like he was in church the whole game, right? He was in church.
Good.
He was pretty well behaved.
Well behaved. He was a zombie.
It wasn't no zombie.
He was a zombie the whole game.
I kept watching
He didn't even
him.
change expressions. He just sat in his seat.
He was nervous.
In fact, he kind of
True
shrank
fan.
down in his seat. He kind of like crouched
Watching.
down like,
He was
I'm not here.
nervous.
I'm not here.
Nervous.
Nobody sees me. I'm not here. I'm not Drake anymore. I'm just Joe Smith sitting here. I'm just somebody sitting watching the game. That's how he behaved the whole game. And it looked to me like, and I don't know this for a fact, It looked like Draymond started it. It looked like Draymond was leaving the floor and had to pass by Drake's seat. And at that point, because they had just won the basketball game,
Drake said something.
He is standing up. No, I think Draymond said something first. Why would he say something? To take out his frustrations on the nearest lightning rod, and that's the biggest lightning rod in the building, right? I got to start something with somebody to get me going, because also Draymond has admitted recently that sometimes he gets text just to get him and his team going.
Right.
Get the juices
Well, you
flowing
can't get going. The game's over.
Okay.
Oh, you going to get ready for game
but
2?
This was a Shannon Sharpe memorial ploy right here, because sometimes Shannon Sharpe tried to fuel himself by getting other people angry, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Or getting himself in quasi-trouble, you know, like we're...
Well, I'm doing all this talking. I know I got to perform now.
Now you got to perform. And again, it's not the most clever response in trash talk to opt for your trash. Oh, let's see. Well, I'm doing trash talk, so maybe it's like your password is password, right?
But hold on, Skip. You're talking to a supreme athlete.
Yeah.
And here's a guy that doesn't play the game. Now, if another great athlete says a player's trash, that's one thing.
Okay.
But somebody outside that fraternity?
Okay, I'm just thinking he got provoked and shocked that he's coming at me and we just won this game.
Well, let me ask you a question. Well, maybe you can help me understand this. How you going to troll a team that you got 2 of the guys' numbers that's on that team tattooed on your arm?
That is confusing.
How? Well, I mean, I'm missing something, Skip.
Okay, and to that point, I thought it was very cool and clever that he chose to send the subliminal message by wearing Steph's father's jersey. And remember, Steph's father played his last, I'm talking about Dell, played his last 3 years of his career in Toronto. And he made 39% of his threes in Toronto. Maybe not Steph-like, but it showed you what was coming.
Oh, all his stuff was off the dribble or catch and shoot.
Thank you very much. And 18 of those months, little Steph, who was then, I believe, 11 and then going on 12. He went to school. He was living up in Toronto.
Right.
So it was a cool idea. It was inspired to wear number 30 Dell's Toronto jersey just to send the message to Steph and his teammates. Wait a second, you got deep ties. You know, your best player came from us, right? Okay, so I love that part of it. But again, why was Draymond frustrated? He had the cheapest triple-double you can have. Literally the cheapest. 10, 10, and 10. Can you have a cheaper than that? Okay, and he was threatening to have a quadruple-double because he had 6 turnovers. So he's starting to get up there. He could have had 10, 10, 10, and 10. That would have been really cheap, right? Okay, so he's frustrated. He knows they got their butts beat. He knows he got his behind kicked by Siakam and that he had just declared himself the greatest defender of all time.
I think that's what he's most hurt by.
Okay.
I mean, you're losing the game and the guy that you're guarding, Skip, scores 10 points, 15 points. That's one thing. But when a guy has a coming out party on national television on you in the NBA Finals against you, oh, yeah, you very frustrated.
Okay, so I don't know exactly what he said to detonate this, but then Drake is like shocked because he's going from celebrating to having to defend himself, and he reaches for the word trash. Trash.
Well, Draymond probably said, bro, you need to sit down. You're not Kendrick Lamar. He probably said something like that.
He'd been sitting the whole game.
Yeah.
Did you even notice him?
Why you standing now?
Okay. And I got to tell you, this just makes me sick that he kowtowed to the commissioner. It's like...
Wait a minute.
Huh?
Skip.
Well, come on. You're not a super fan. You do represent the organization. You are an ambassador.
Right.
You're on the masthead of the organization.
So Masai Ujiri can't be clowning people on the sidelines.
What has he done? Okay, so he gave Nick Nurse a little figurative back rub. And that's the one, okay, but that was the one thing that Adam Silver had the biggest problem with. He said, we can't have anybody, he said, friend or foe, contacting an NBA coach. Well, he's not just a friend, he's part of the organization. And he's also one of the top entertainers in the world.
Well, let him
in the world.
But not at a basketball game.
Okay, well, he is. And he represents, he's the spirit of the Raptors is embodied in this man.
I get all of that, Skip, and he's a super fan, but okay.
I want to see him up. I want to see him alive.
No, I want to see him down.
I want to see him trash talking. I want to see him distracting everybody on the other team.
Commissioner spoken.
Well, he said,
I won't speak to you again.
He said they had conversations, him and the manager, and he said, I think we ended up in a good place.
I think so, too.
Well, we ended up...
Judging by Drake's behavior, we ended up in a great place.
We ended up in a quiet place.
Well, that's what you
And it was the quietest place you could be. He just sat there the whole game. I didn't even know he was there.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Do you realize how much he contributes to their home court mystique?
You know how much he paid for those seats?
Probably nothing.
I was
I
curious.
would hope.
Yeah. No, you pay for those.
You pay?
Yeah.
Why? You don't think he's worth his weight in gold?
No.
Either? Yes.
Gold, I need gold to spend, not gold I can look at. I know there's a lot of gold in Fort Knox. It don't do me any good because I don't own it.
The Raptors need him to come back out of his shell.
No, they don't.
And defy the commissioner.
See, why you got to go against the authority? Why you got to buck the establishment? Why?
You know what? It's not Adam Silver's place to tell Drake how to behave.
Yes, it is his place.
It is not.
He's the commissioner.
Did he step onto the basketball court? No.
The commissioner?
That's the literal line you can't cross.
No. You can't be in that space giving the coach massaging.
Look, if you told me he ran onto the court and patted somebody on the butt for making a shot at the other end, way to go.
No.
Then I'd say, okay, you have literally crossed the line.
Not only that, Skip, you can't be in when the opponents are walking by, you can't be clapping in their face before they two-piece
Oh, come on. What do you think Spike Lee has done his whole life?
Nah, ain't nobody, Spike wasn't doing all that.
I told you exactly what the deal is. Drake sits on the side that's televised. Spike sits on the side that is not televised, so it requires a special shot of Spike to show what he's doing.
I get why the Raptors did it, because in the beginning, you try to get viewership, and they're like, well, look who's at the game.
Yeah.
And so they position him in such a way that the camera, for the most part, is always going to get an opportunity to see him and showcase one of their greatest assets. I get all that. But the commissioner said, look at bro, let me holler at you right quick. That's how I've done it. Adam Silver said, hey, Drake, let me holler at you right quick. We have boundaries, we have rules. Now I'm gonna need you to sit your you-know-what down.
No, he didn't say that. He just said you can't contact the coach.
What did Drake do?
It's his coach.
I'm telling you what the commissioner said.
He can contact him, he can text him, he can email him, or he can back rub him. He can do any of that.
Not during the game. Not during the game. Now, I don't want, we're not going to have this conversation.
Stop.
Drake, we're not
Stop.
Drake, we're not going to have this conversation again, are we?
Drake. Yeah, I know.
That's a commitment. Yeah, exactly.
He is not on the team, though.
No,
he has
sit down.
He's got to remember that.
Why you got a problem with rules?
You guys Googled him playing basketball because it's not pretty.
No.
So
hey,
don't look for it.
And by the way, you can make a lot of noise seated. See me, right?
That is definitely something I've learned the hard way.
He got a wristband on. Now, why do none of the NBA players wear wristbands, but everybody that don't play in the NBA, they got them on?
Yeah, he's just covering up those tattoos.
I like that big 3-0
covering
jersey.
Up the tattoos.
Yeah, it is a big 3-0 jersey.
No mercy.
Skip this one, it's not really for you. So just warning, number 2 helped lead the Raptors to a Game 1 win last night, but he only scored 23 points on 5 of 14 shooting as the Warriors.
5 of 14?
5 of 14.
Huh.
What? Multiple defenders on him all night. Well, he was covered. But Kawhi reportedly still isn't at 100%. Woj said, quote, I think the feeling has been that with the quad injury, he's had to maybe put more pressure on his knee and some of that tendonitis. But he added that he does have enough in the tank to carry the Raptors in the final. So, Shannon, what grade would you give Kawhi from last night?
Scarlet letter. Hey!
Oh, don't.
Scarlet letter, hey!
Stop it. Now you've just disqualified yourself. Now you've lost all credibility.
I have not, because if you're going to go through what he's going through, carry that yeoman's work, 43 minutes. And even though you're injured or hurt, whatever the terminology Skip Bayless or anyone else that's trying to deny this man's greatness is trying to use for him to go out there. See, remember, Skip, remember I say, I don't care if you're hurt or injured. If you're on the court, all I see is Leonard, 2 on the back of that jersey. I need that. Now, he didn't give me the virtuoso that I've seen so many times over the last 2 weeks. He didn't give me one of those, but he was able to play well enough to impact the game. Look at Drake. How many turnovers you say Draymond had? Who covered Draymond the majority of the night, Skip Bayless? Oh, Kawhi. That's what we do. We make you shoot poorly when we're on you. So for him to get 23, no, he didn't shoot the ball well, but he found a way to get his points by getting to the free throw line. And he rebounded the ball, and he assisted the ball, and he had a block, a couple of blocks, and a steal. So his impact was all over the game. And so while he didn't have 30-plus points, and he didn't shoot the ball 35 times, so you can run up here and talk about he missed 20 of those. How good is that? Can I interest you in that like you asked me? He didn't do that. But he found a way to impact the game, and they won the game. So Kawhi Leonard's getting an A from me. And if he plays that way again, guess what? They're going to head back to Oracle up 2-0.
You know, you perfectly represent what most of America and all of Canada thinks of number two. Because in the wake of your other man, LeBron James, who's watching from his couch, number two has become the most overprotected, overdefended superstar in all of sports, and it's not even close.
That's not true.
And by the way, just quick point of order, if I might, the Scarlet Letter was not a good thing. You understand? It stood for adultery.
I know.
Can I say this?
But what was the initial?
Quick reminder.
See, it's a book called The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne, and it's Hester Prynne.
I know she had to wear a Scarlet Letter because she did something
so it
very
was a
bad.
It was a bad thing. So
He
if you're
got
going to
an
give
A.
him the Scarlet Letter, I'll go with that. I'll give him the Scarlet.
I gave him the A.
I'll give him the Scarlet A.
Not what it
But
symbolized.
I don't want it to stand for adultery.
No.
I'm okay with that.
No.
Okay.
I gave him not for what it
just
symbolized.
stands for overrated.
No, it does not.
A stands for overrated.
No, it does not.
Okay,
No,
just
it does
points
not.
of order.
Okay.
No, it does not.
Okay, what is my friend Shannon Sharpe beaten over my head for the last month?
What?
That number two has been the best player in the playoffs.
Bestest.
So we've
Yes.
gone from best player on the planet to best player in the playoffs,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So I'm sorry, but then I have to set that bar way up at the top, right? So I'm setting it way up here. So off last night's blah performance, how can I not give him any more than a C? Because that was a C performance. 5 of 14, it was quiet. It was missing in action performance. It was, I can't remember anything that he did performance.
What about that three?
And you're going to give him an A?
What about that three?
Okay, so
what
that's
about that
one.
and one on good Steph?
Okay.
What about that big three at the shot clock running down?
Do you realize how much help he got?
Yeah,
Who was the star of the night? Obviously, I'm going to give Siakam an A, and obviously, I'm going to give.
Great Siakam.
I'm going to. Well, I'm telling you because I got to put this all in perspective. I'm going to give Fred VanVleet, their closer, an A. And I'm going to give Gasol an A-. And I'm going to give Danny Green for making 3 threes and snapping right out of his shooting slump. I'm going to give him a B+. I'm going to give Kyle Lowry a B+ for leading the team with 9 assists.
Hold on, wait.
9 assists, and he played Bulldog defense.
Hold on.
Bulldog.
Skip.
He went 2 for 9. I know what he did.
And 1 for 5.
Yeah.
And he got what grade?
Yeah, he got a B+.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Was he not all over the floor last night?
What was Kawhi?
Huh?
43
I don't know.
minutes.
Where was he? That's
You know
a good
where it
question. When the game ended, I was thinking, did he play last
Yeah,
night?
no,
I can't
you
really
weren't thinking
remember.
that. You weren't thinking that. You weren't
Okay.
thinking that. Skip, see, this is the problem that I have with you, is that when someone does something, let that have been Jordan, and they won the game.
No, please do not put this man's name
No,
in the same
stop. No.
atmosphere, like the same universe.
All I'm saying is that when Jordan didn't score 50 points, he found other ways to impact the game. Or when Kobe didn't score 40 points, he found other ways to impact the game. You and others gave him credit. He didn't score 30. He didn't have the greatest shooting night, but he still found a way to get to the free throw line. He still found a way to rebound the ball. He still found a way to assist the ball and facilitate for his teammates. And he still played even on that old bulky knee with that quad that he's overcompensated for, that's putting more stress on that knee. He still played lights out defense because people that shot the ball against him was 5 or 13. That's what we do know.
And you know, the injury excuse with this guy has gone from making me sick to just making me laugh.
It's not an excuse.
I'm LOL. Every night I'm LOL. Just sitting back, it's happening again.
Oh, you logged
He is
online?
the limping legend. He is.
No.
Seriously.
It's not an act. The man is hurt.
You just watch what happens in game 3 and 4 at home against Milwaukee. They're down, obviously, 0-2. The pressure is mounting. And all of a sudden, right on cue, he starts to limp. And he limped all through 3 and all through 4. And my favorite moment actually came late in 3 when he'd been limping on his right leg because of some weird thigh tendinitis or something, tendinosis. And all of a sudden, he dunks on the other end and comes down on his left leg, and he limps up court favoring his left leg.
Because maybe.
Oh, so we got both of them, and I swear he forgot which leg he was supposed to be limping on.
But sometimes, Skip, look, you come down and you come down a little awkwardly. You come down with more pressure on one side than you do the other. Okay, you're like, ooh, that hurt a little bit. But he shook it off.
Little.
Pressure gets to him. He knows he's got high basketball IQ. He does have a nice feel and flow and control of the game.
Yeah.
And he also controls the excuse machine because he knows when to start it up. Because if I'm having a bad game, he's thinking, gee, in the third quarter, I know what's coming. They're going to say it's my fault if we lose, so I better limp. I better come down on a fast break.
But he was limping in the first quarter.
No, I didn't see that.
I saw it. I saw him turn the ball over and try to get a gear. I was like, Kawhi, you looking like me out there.
Really?
Yeah, like he's running on hot coals, like his feet hurt or something.
So when he plays poorly, he's hurt. When he plays great, he's playing through severe pain, right?
He's playing.
You can't lose. You can't lose.
But in both situations, you said, okay, if he's playing poorly, he's hurt, and if he plays well, he's playing through pain. You validated what I've been saying all along. He's injured, and he's finding ways to get out there and impact the game, be it scoring 40, 45, 39, or 23 with 12, getting to the free throw line 12 times. That's what superstars do. They don't always see, Skip. Sometimes it's, you don't always have to see how they work. So just look at his impact on the game.
So last night we had the most overrated player in the playoffs up against the most underrated player in many playoffs, and his name is Andre Iguodala, and he plays for the Warriors, and he was the Finals MVP the first time the Warriors won it all.
Kawhi was too, but like you told me, that was ancient.
Iguodala does not get enough credit for his ability with his length and his strength because he's claw-like. He is their claw.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
How many great plays has he made to end games and end series?
Ask Dame Lillard.
Okay, ask him.
He got
Ask LeBron James. Ask LeBron James, right? And it was the
Game 3.
Game 3. It was the big turnaround game that KD took over, right?
Yes.
But down the stretch, Iggy just says, nope, I'm going to take this ball from you. And he went and took the ball from Dame at the end of the game. He just took it from him.
Yes, he did.
And every time I looked up last night, number 2 was having a hard time against Golden State's claw because you can't get the ball through him. You can't get it up.
Yeah, well, they're trapping him getting the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him to go head up with old Kawhi.
And the biggest break he made, this may just be meant to be, because near the end of the game, Iggy, who's had, I don't know what it is. First they said it was Achilles, and now they're saying it's a strained calf. He pulls up lame. And I'm thinking,
he grabbed his hamstring, unless his calf is way up there behind his butt.
I don't know. And they're saying after the game it's his calf. And they did say after the game that he said, I will be there for game 2. But you want to talk about a guy who plays through, he will play through it. And the point is that if he can't play through it, if it is so bad that he just can't go, it is another enormous break for a number 2 who got breaks against Embiid, who was either sick or hurt every other game.
We gave him the flu.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we got him sick.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I know what gave
it.
me the flu was that shot that he made at the end of Game 7 that bounced 5 times on the rim.
There's a difference between Andre Iguodala's injury and Kawhi's injury. See, when you're injured and you're the 4th option, you got Steph, you got Clay, you got Draymond to shoulder the load. But when you're injured and you're the number 1 option, that's a whole different ball game.
Okay, but Iggy is the primary option on defense for the Golden State Warriors.
But you got to score.
Yeah. What changed that 2015 series when the finals, when obviously LeBron's up 2-1 with Game 4 in his house? And I'm thinking, this is going to be LeBron's crowning moment here, right?
Yeah.
And Steve Kerr says, I think I'm going to put Iggy in the starting lineup tonight, and I'm going to sick him on LeBron. And what happened? 7 of 22 happened for LeBron that night.
Was in the first game. That was in Game 4.
Game 4, and they won it.
And then Game 5, LeBron had a monster triple-double with 40 points.
Who won that game?
They won the series, so it doesn't matter who won the game.
Who won the next game? Golden State. They won 3
Okay, well, who won the game last night? Who won the game last night?
Siakam?
No, they don't do that. Don't do
Gasol?
that. Don't do that.
Van Vliet?
And
Danny Green?
And
Kyle Lowry?
And if that tall, skinny guy don't come back, you skinny Kyle, you know them product. If that tall, skinny guy don't come back, guess who's going to win this series?
Are you ready to flip your pick?
I ain't flipping nothing.
You got Golden State in 6, so you better get Golden State in gear here, right?
Well, I reserve the right.
Oh, you reserve the right to flip.
Right.
Well, speaking of that, Jenny.
Yeah, that is interesting. We are going to talk a little bit more about it. Are the Warriors already facing a must-win? Maybe
now
for
we
Shannon.
find out what he's really made of.
We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
The Raptors opened up the NBA Finals last night with a huge 9-point win over the Warriors. Kawhi Leonard scored 23 points, but Pascal Siakam was the star with 32 points on 14 of 17 shooting. The Raptors are already a slight favorite once again at home for Game 2 on Sunday. KD is expected to be out for Game 2, but Yahoo's Chris Haynes reports he is expected to return at some point midway through the finals, barring a setback, with Game 4 being the logical option. Shannon, who wins Game 2?
Hold on before I do that. Skip, this segment sponsored by Hilton.
Yeah, what do you got?
I got a vacation coming up in July. Hey, Hilton, I need a room for about 6 days.
Where are you going?
Nice room, too.
So where did that
What
come
was
from?
that?
What did that mean?
I saw it was sponsored by Hilton, and so I figured we got to.
So you're trying to get the hookup on live TV from our sponsor?
Why not?
I don't know.
Never
We're
been
talking
done
about Game
before.
2. It sounds like a man who's afraid of what he's about to have to say. Right? Somebody's trying to change the subject.
Toronto.
It's not going to work.
I got
Shannon.
Toronto.
You got Toronto?
Toronto.
Time out. America and Canada. He's got Golden State in 6. So that means if he has Toronto, that means Golden State is then going to win 4 straight games? Is that how the math works?
That might happen.
Yeah, that's
the
hard to do.
The tall, skinny guy's on the way back. That's what Chris Haynes reported.
But you've also told me the tall, skinny guy could screw up the works.
No.
right?
Here's the thing, Skip. If for me is that they're running out of options. I mean, you're possibly down. KD, I don't believe KD's going to play Game 3. But if they go down 0-2, he might have to move that timeline up, that Game 4 timeline up to a Game 3.
Maybe.
Skip, okay, Iggy. And although Iggy's not going to give you 20 on the regular, he plays great defense, and he normally hits timely threes. Okay, you're already down KD. You see, last night in the first quarter, Skip, when the shots is not falling from distance, that's when you can tell the tall, skinny guy, hey, bro, go get down the block and dump it down to him, and he shoot over everybody and get your bucket. Because you remember, Skip, in Game 3 last year in the finals against the Cavs, Steph ended the game with 10 points. Clay had like 13, but KD couldn't miss.
Best player on the planet. Well, did he not show you? Was that not the turning point game?
You keep interrupting me.
I'm just trying to.
They got away with no KD in Portland.
Okay.
And they got away with no KD for a quarter and a game against Houston.
They sure did.
I do not believe they can fully get away with it now, especially after they let this one get away from them. Because Toronto is going to be playing with the utmost confidence. They know they can put a stranglehold on this. They really, and so he's like, okay, Kevin Durant's going to come back. But we don't know what version of Kevin Durant's going to come back.
Yeah.
Skip, he's been away for a long period of time. He hadn't practiced. So you're asking him, and that game would be to play Sunday Game 2. That means the next game will be Wednesday.
Correct.
In almost 5 weeks, that'd be 4 weeks. Skip, that's a long time. So we don't know what version that Kevin Durant's going to come back at. Now, we know what he represents, but they need a third scoring option. Clay going to give you what he gives you. Steph is going to be Steph. Steph is great.
They were both pretty good last night.
But they needed that third. See, that's what makes them unbeatable in a series when they got KD.
Okay.
Because if you get KD, give you 30. KD is a 30-point-a-game average guy in the finals. And that's what he normally gives you. You didn't get that last night. You didn't get that third option. And that's what makes them.
You got 10 from Draymond. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10,
Yeah,
10, right?
yeah. So KD would have gave you another 20 on top of that.
all
So
right.
Draymond might have had 15 assists because he'd have been dishing to KD. Skip, it's going to be very difficult for them without a third scoring option to beat this team with the way, with their length. Siakam plays defense. Gasol, Kawhi, we know what Kawhi represents. And then they bring Surge at you. VanVleet, he's not the greatest, but he's physical. They were Steph and him was battling.
Fair.
Steph trying to get position and tried to release. He's like, nah, bro, stay right here. I got you.
I agree.
So yeah, I'm going to take Toronto, but, you know.
And then Golden State's going to win 4 in a row, or are we flipping picks?
Hold on. I need Toronto to win because don't you want to see my cornrow wig on Monday?
So you're rooting now for a selfish reason against your own pick, right?
It's really
You're
hard to
rooting
follow
against
you.
your own pick.
Hey, well, here's the thing, Skip. I've been carrying on what's going on in America, and I see people do that all the time. Vote against their best self-interest.
You know, it happens.
So I've got to pick against my own self-interest.
Doesn't mean it's right,
Well,
Shannon.
does this mean you are flipping your pick
No.
to Toronto?
No.
What are you? Are you changing the game?
Hold on. It's like, Jenny asked me a question. Shannon, game 2 on Sunday. Who wins?
Who wins?
That's what she asked me. She didn't ask me
Okay,
who wins.
now I'm just doing
No,
the math.
that's not your job. You're
The
not
math
the
makes
It is my
hard.
job.
No. You're not the moderator.
My job
Jenny
is
gets
to
asked the
keep
question.
you in line.
Jenny-
I'm your Adam Silver, right?
Should I ask the question? Are you flipping your pick?
Jenny, you already asked me a question. It's Skip's turn now.
I'll let you think about that one a little
So,
bit.
is it Golden State in 7?
Might be Golden State and 8.
In 8?
Oh.
Maybe.
There you go.
Somebody on this side of the table is sticking with his Golden State in 7. That's
Okay.
what I said.
Even if they go down 2-0, 0-2?
They're going to figure out slowly but surely how to win at least one game on the road, which is how they would
gonna
have
have
to
to,
win
yes.
game 7, right?
Yes.
So, by the way, just a quick point of order. At the end of the game last night, I tweeted, that sound you hear is Kevin Durant healing quickly.
I saw
That's
that.
what's happening.
That was a good tweet.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah,
I
it makes
appreciate
sense.
that. So you actually
For selfish
follow
reasons.
and you stalk.
For selfish reason, you do it self-pub now.
Huh?
You tweet it.
I thought it was creative.
That's why I'm going to catch
It's
you.
healing up real fast.
That's why I'm going to catch you on Twitter, too.
You're going to catch me on Twitter?
Yep.
You have nothing to say on Twitter. That's your problem.
I do.
Yeah? Oh, do you? Okay.
I be so enthralled in the game. I tweet from time to time.
Oh, do
you see those refs missed those 2 kick balls, too, last night.
Yeah, well,
Tweeted that.
that just changed the whole game.
Yeah, but they did.
We should have led the show with that. Ref misses 2 kick balls. Did you tweet that?
I did.
Did you?
And he did miss
Boy,
it.
that's a stunner. I bet that had a lot
Sorry,
of
I missed
impressions.
that one, Shannon.
Right? That might have had
Go
like
ahead, make your point. I was
2
happening.
impressions, maybe.
Man, you a hater. Skip. I need you to stop hating so much. You didn't used to be like this when I first joined the show, but now you hate a lot.
Really?
I
don't
feel like
know
I'm
that.
Kawhi. I feel like I'm Kawhi.
What are
But-
you tweeting right now?
But
No.
you know how it is. You hate because you love, right? It's the
that
way
what
you
it is?
express your affection,
Okay,
right?
I appreciate that.
So back to your point. I'm going to give you this much. Toronto wound up a 1.5-point favorite in game 1, although they opened as a 1.5-point underdog. So the betting public was correct. As I told you yesterday, they're on the right side of this. And now this is swung around, but it opened 1.5, Toronto by 1.5 as the favorite. Right. And then it got bet down to pick them, and then it went right back up. So they're right where they were for game 1.
Great.
And I'm going to give you this. I tweeted this, I said this last Monday. I believe Golden State will win game 2, but I don't have great conviction about it after what I saw last night.
Right.
So would I be shocked if this turns into a home sweet home series? Because we've seen this happen before with Golden State and Houston. That was right on track to be, remember, you win 2 at home, then they win 2 at home, right?
And then somebody gagged the bit.
Somebody gagged it, but somebody had the bit right between their teeth when KD went out, and they spit the bit, as they say in horse racing, right?
Yes.
Okay? So, to me, I still say that Steve Kerr and company will go back to the film room as we speak and figure this out. Because an interesting thing was said by Klay Thompson after the game. No, we're not very familiar with Toronto. Well, I'm not saying they took them lightly, but you did have 4 days to get ready. 5, effectively. 5 days of film study to get ready. And you did play them twice, even though the one game, number 2 didn't play, and the other game, Steph and Draymond did not play. So it wasn't a level playing field either game.
Right.
So maybe it added up to nothing.
Well,
Maybe it.
Is it like playing a West opponent that you see all the time?
Yeah.
Is it like playing the Cavaliers who you saw in the last 4 finals so you know what they're going to do?
All right.
No, it's not. But like you said, that's no excuse.
He said no excuse also. But he also buttoned up that comment by saying, we will respond like the champions we are. And I believe that they will. I believe they at least will focus a little more attention on Siakam because you can't let him score 5 out of 5 baskets in transition. That's just wrong. Right. He scored 5 times on breaks because he can score on the break because he can swoop to the
So you're going to focus on Siakam?
Yeah.
So you want old Claw to get loose, huh?
You know, Claw's hurt and he's a little handicapped and he's a little slow, and you said he can't explode. So why would you focus on him?
If you don't mind me asking, what's the most dangerous animal? A wounded one.
Really? Wounded tiger?
Yeah, when he backed out. Any animal that's wounded, try it and see what happens.
Really?
Yeah.
A garden snake?
They did.
I don't know. I don't know. That's what
there you go.
Yeah, okay.
But theoretically, a garden snake is not an animal.
Okay.
But anyway.
So again, DeMarcus Cousins got forced back into the rotation last night. And to your credit and point, you didn't love it, I didn't love it, and it didn't feel like it worked last night.
You have to change too much of what they score against what they do.
He played 8 minutes, and he's such a big body. And I know you can argue he can bang with Gasol a little better than Looney can, but it's just not enough production. Plus, it disrupts the flow.
Yes, because he needs the ball.
Yeah.
Kevon Looney doesn't need the ball. Kevon Looney is perfectly fine setting picks, diving to the basket, getting rebounds. He's fine with that. Boogie Cousins needs the ball because he's a big that wants to score, that can score. So he needs the ball in his hand. Toronto is perfectly fine with that because if he has the ball in his hands, guess who does it? Steph and Clay. We can live with that.
Okay. So I'm going to guess that DeMarcus won't be in the rotation in Game 2. And I'm also going to guess he's not going to be happy about it because he has a star's ego because he's earned a star's ego. He's an all-star.
Yes.
And Steve Kerr is sitting on the hottest seat in these finals because these are hard choices to make. We're about to talk about Kevin Durant coming back. That's a hard choice to make depending on his health or lack thereof.
Right.
So are you going to keep forcing DeMarcus back into this rotation? Are you going to try to play more minutes? Or do you see on your stat sheet there who didn't get to play? Bogut didn't play a second last night. Bogut is a much better defender and rim protector and could cause Siakam more problems than DeMarcus can, right?
And those bigs, Kevon Looney and Bogut, are better situated because they're perfectly fine. We heard De'Aaron Fox say it yesterday. Those guys want to set picks. They want to set solid picks because they want to get Steph and Clay great looks. Not the guy scrapes off him and gets a hand up. When they set a pick, you're between him and Steph.
Okay.
And that's what they want.
So I say we're about to see Hearts of Champions on display on Sunday night at Toronto. And I think it's going to be a down-to-the-wire shootout. And again, remember, last night Toronto outshot them from 3 by 1, and I don't think they can do that again. I think there'll be too much Steph, too much Clay. I think Draymond will bounce back with a much bigger defensive performance because his pride has been challenged and wounded, and he's going to play like a wounded animal.
Yeah, he was trying to get...
I mean, Golden State was unbelievable from the free throw line. For the longest time, they were perfect.
They have never fallen behind 0-2 in any series during this 5-year run.
Hell, they've never been down 0-1
for them. So, I mean, that doesn't happen very often either.
I think Toronto just got their attention. That's what I think just
undivided.
Undivided.
But that's what Claw do. That's what Claw does.
Well, the real Claw might or might not play, and that's my bottom line. If Iggy can't go in Game 2, and he says he can, but I don't trust it, if he can't go, then Toronto's going to win. He's that big a deal to their defense.
But him going is one thing. How effective will he be in going is something entirely different.
Because if he doesn't go, the free pass to the basket will belong to number 2.
Skip, and they're and what's happening is that Steve Kerr's running out of bodies. He's
Well,
just running out of quality guys that he can put in. Yeah, you got a bench, but are you really trying to tell me that you're expecting McKinney and Sean Livingston, or Jacob Evans, or Quinn Cook to play 25, 30 minutes? Because somebody's going to have to get those minutes that Iggy leaving out there. Somebody's got to take up the slack for KD when it's 35, 40 minutes.
Okay. Well, does that mean that...
I can hear it now. KD's healing quickly.
Okay.
It's working on something special.
Well,
Does that mean we're all overreacting to the Warriors losing that first game? Chris Broussard is here. He's going to give us his take next.
No mercy.
How about those Raptors? They had a huge win last night in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Chris Broussard is with us now.
Jenny, you can't steal the Cowboys handle. You know, that's what you. You have to reserve
I
that,
thought that was
for the
creative.
Cowboys, not for the Raptors.
You didn't like it?
Not for the Raptors.
What?
Oh,
It's
I didn't
okay.
even think you'd notice.
No offense
It's
taken.
not even an American team, so
Sorry.
can it be that
So
way
it's
for
okay.
Canada's
for
team?
Okay,
How about those?
moving
Right.
on.
Canada's
I will
team.
not do that again, Skip. I apologize. Chris Broussard,
Well, we know they won't be playing in the finals for nothing.
surprised by how easy
You wish.
those Raptors won.
I don't think it was easy. I mean, look, I give the Raptors plenty of credit. I thought they were great. I give them credit for shaking off their Game 1 woes. They lost to Orlando. They lost to Milwaukee in Game 1, so that was impressive. The big stage did not bother them. I mean, all these guys, Van Fleet and Gasol, even though Gasol's a vet, they'd never been on this stage. It clearly wasn't too big for him, so give him credit. They played great. And Siakam, I mean, this guy, here's the thing for Toronto, and they know this. Obviously, they want to keep Kawhi. But if he leaves, they're not going away. Now, they won't be a championship team.
Right.
But they're going to still be a factor there in the East. They're going to be relevant. This guy didn't start playing basketball until, what, 16, 17 years old?
Interesting story.
So, yeah, he could blossom into a future star, and maybe that makes Kawhi think, here's my second guy right here.
Right.
You know, so we'll see. But they were great. But I think Golden State and their rust from the 9 days off, I think there was some complacency, maybe even a little cockiness. I think with Portland, now some people look at the Portland series and say, Portland played great. They had them down 15 in all these games, and they just couldn't close. I looked at it differently. I thought Golden State paced itself. Knowing they don't have KD, knowing their depth situation, they were pacing, knowing that with one or two surges, we can get past Portland.
Right.
And they tried that last night, and it didn't work. And again, I give Toronto credit because that third quarter is usually when Golden State puts on one of those surges, changes the game, and Toronto held serve for the most part, so give them credit. But I thought the complacency and cockiness showed in a few areas. One, they gave up 3 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter to Toronto, which were big. 2, the 17 turnovers. I know they turn it over a lot anyway, but 17 is kind of ridiculous. And then the 24 fast break points. Their transition defense was horrible. And that is just lack of focus for whatever reason. Obviously, Draymond, triple-double, but it was one of those most inefficient. Right.
It's the cheapest you can have.
Yes. And even though it was 10-10-10, but just it wasn't effective. Like, he missed shots at the rim, didn't finish, 2 for 9. Only took 2 threes, but didn't hit them. Defensively, Siakam had his way with him. And Iguodala's huge. I really hope he is not seriously injured. You know, he said he'll be fine, but he also was 0 for 4 from 3. And Iguodala and Draymond are going to have to hit open threes.
Yes.
Because you're searching. I mean, Steph was very good. Clay was okay, 21 points. But where are you going to get the rest of the firepower from if those two aren't doing it, Draymond and Dre?
That's my point. I don't think it was easy, Skip. They just made it look easy, but they snuffed out every run that the Warriors threw at them. And that's what the Warriors do. They normally come out in the third quarter, and they throw that big third quarter on you. They hit you with one of those high 30s, mid 40s third quarter, and then whatever lead you had is gone, and they're now normally in front.
Well, they threw it last night.
With the Warriors.
And Toronto threw back.
But Rap said, nah. Siakam and Kawhi.
Siakam said, nah. Siakam made 6 of 6 shots in the third quarter.
If I'm not mistaken.
2 of 2 free throws in the third quarter.
Hold on. If I'm not mistaken, my notes telling me that me and my crack reacher, we stayed up late last night burning the midnight oil.
Really?
Siakam and Kawhi scored 23 of the 29 points in the third quarter. Is that true?
Wait, one guy scored way more than the other guy.
No, I'm just asking
now
you a
you're
question.
trying to combine his with the other guys to make his look better. He went along for the ride.
I'm just asking a simple question. So,
who scored in the fourth quarter? Help me out. I don't know.
Anyway, let me back to making my point. And Chris, and I was telling Skip this earlier, without that third score, because when they were struggling to shoot 30% in the first quarter, you got a tall guy, got a 7-foot guy. Hey, bro. Get down the block, go get us a bucket. Let's quell some of this. They don't have that now.
Boy, his stock is rising fast.
His stock never did.
This is how it works.
Oh, hold on. Kevin Durant's always a blue chip. You already know. You know blue chip stocks.
I think it was falling fast over the last week or so.
No.
Who needs Kevin Durant?
Yeah. They went and got Kevin Durant.
They were playing better without him. They were playing better until last night. And they actually played, to your point, they played pretty well last night.
Skip, I just think they're different without Kevin Durant. But in a 7-game series, if that rascal is healthy, he makes them unbeatable. Because with the way they were struggling last night, even if you got 17 turnovers, you got that guy, he still go get you 30 with 17 turnovers. So that's the difference. The question is, Steve Kerr is running out of bodies. Who's going to give him Iguodala minutes? Who's going to give him Kevin Durant scoring? That's the question. If Kevin Durant comes back, say, game 3, I believe he comes back game 4 at the earliest. But that might get bumped up to game 3 if they're down 0-2.
It well might. I'm going to say this again. Last night was not a fair fight for the visiting team. I said the Raptors would win because Golden State had too many days off and got thrown into a fire against a team that is far superior defensively to either Portland or Houston, especially to Portland. Portland might have been the worst defensive team in the playoffs, and Toronto is definitely the best team defensively in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So all of a sudden, Golden State, to your point, got shell-shocked. They got blindsided, like, what? And all the reporters on site last night said the atmosphere was the greatest they'd ever experienced. The excitement level, the intensity level inside that arena was just ear-splitting and mind-numbing. Right. And I think Golden State wasn't quite ready for that onslaught. And to your point, everybody played up on Toronto to it. Nobody played down, except maybe number 2.
No, don't do that.
Stop. He didn't have his normal game, but I thought he was good, though.
But I thought he was hurt, too. And he played through that.
We got the hurt excuse going already.
Skip, you saw the man, Chris.
It's all you got. It's all you got.
Here, what all the, like, Charles Barkley, Isaiah Thomas, all those ex-players, they said when you're dealing with tendinitis, sometimes you can just come down and out of nowhere. Oh, wow. And you kind of can shake it off and all that eventually, but it's there. It reminds you that it's there.
By the way, I want to declare early, Dak Prescott has tendinitis in his knee. I want everybody to know, so if he has a bad game next year, I got an excuse. He's got tendinitis. In fact, it's in both knees and both ankles. He's got tendinitis.
Quarterback.
Just for the record, so if he has a bad game, I got 4 excuses. Is that fair?
First of all,
I just want to declare that.
First of all, quarterbacks can play with tendinitis because they're not running backs is going to be a problem. Wide receivers would be a problem.
My quarterback runs the football. He made the run of the year against
Seattle. Well, he won't be running in the Super Bowl. So he won't be like Kawhi in the finals. He won't be running in there.
You better hope not.
No.
So now to my big 2 takeaways from last night. Bigger picture. I'm here to say once again, as I keep saying for the last month, number 2 sure has a lot of help. I don't think it's all his show because last night Siakam was just flat out special is what he was. And it made me wonder, it gave me some cause to pause and ask myself and ask out loud on Twitter, are we sure that number 2 is the best player on the Toronto roster? Because I'm not this guy is something. When he gets going, yes, I do. And last night,
a little premature.
He looked like the best two-way player on the floor because he can block shots too. He can rim protect. But what a game he had against the guy who just the day before said he, Draymond, was the greatest defensive player in history. And Siakam goes out against him, little known, Pascal Siakam, and he goes 14 of 17, and he makes 2 of 3 threes, and he made 9 of 12 contested shots. So it's not like he's not being defended, and he makes 5 of 5 on breaks, so he's just running them in the floor last night, and he makes 11 straight shots, which was the longest streak in a finals game in 20 years. That's pretty good, right?
That's very good.
He was awesome.
He's only 25 years of age, and just so the people may not know about him, he's 6'9", 230. The other guy, number 2, is 6'7", 230. So he's got some stature on him. And just for the record, just for those who lost touch with Toronto this year, number 43, who is Pascal Siakam, he had, 12 in regular, 5 posts. So 17 games of 25 or more he scored this year. So this is not foreign to him. This wasn't some one-night wonder for Siakam.
Yeah.
He can do this.
You don't expect this consistently.
I don't expect.
Even close to that.
I don't know.
Because he's been kind of up and down
right?
in the
He's
playoffs.
the same guy that averaged 14 points against the Bucks.
Right.
But in other words, I know there was a time before that someone got anointed prematurely as a star. He scored 36 points. I think his name was Derek White in San Antonio. You know him, Chris. You're familiar with him, Chris.
Okay, but you're going to eat those words slowly but surely because he had some big games and they were in position to win that series. And
then he disappeared.
Let me tell
monster.
You, if Jamal Murray had not made that last shot, my team would be playing right now.
No, they wouldn't.
I believe it.
I don't believe
it. And Durant if Durant hadn't gotten hurt, that Houston would have won that series.
If your team had that, if
Durant had not gotten hurt, Houston would have won.
They were going to win. They were going to win.
And guess what? Yeah. If your Spurs had that guy, Jamal Murray could have made 100 shots, and San Antonio would have been playing.
We did have that guy 2 years ago, and he quit.
He got injured.
He quit for 73 games. He would not play. So who needs that guy?
You do. Y'all do.
Y'all need him.
Do y'all want to go? Do you want to go back to the finals? Do you like going to the finals?
Y'all need him.
wait till DeJounte Murray comes back with Derek White, and let's see how that goes next year. You wait, you watch.
DeJounte Murray, DeJounte Mustard, I don't care. He's not Kawhi.
And, you know, and Chris told me the other day that number 2 has answered all my challenges. Well, I challenge him in game 2 because game 1, I know this guy. Game 1, the lights got a little too bright and hot
for a Finals MVP.
Yeah. When he was the Finals MVP, he averaged, what was it? 17 a game through the finals, and they made a record number of threes and won in 5 games by shooting threes, and he shot a few, but not like
average 16.
You know, Marco Bellinelli could have been the MVP.
No, he could not.
All right.
He had 21, 8, and 5. He wasn't great, but he wasn't horrible. 23, I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't short.
He wasn't horrible.
Guys, we got to talk about Kevin Durant. He is now expected back when the series returns to Golden State, but is he enough to save the Warriors? Does he have to save them? Is that what we're saying? We'll tell you next.
No mercy.
All right, Yahoo's Chris Haynes reports Kevin Durant is expected to be back from his right calf strain at some point midway through the finals, barring a setback. The earliest return for KD would be Game 3, but according to the report, Game 4 is the most logical option. KD has missed 6 straight games, including last night's loss. The Warriors have gone 5-1 in his absence. Chris Broussard is still with us. So, Chris, would KD's return be a good or bad thing for Golden State?
I think it'd be a great thing. I mean, this is arguably the best player in the world. Like, I don't see any downside. Now, if I'm KD and the Warriors, I'm not coming back unless I'm really close to full health.
Okay. Right.
Like, I don't think he should go out there and risk it. Just, you know, he's got free agency coming up potentially and, you know, just none of that. But, look, Iguodala, we don't know how serious that is.
Right.
You see how deep they're having to go on their bench with McKinney and Quinn Cook, Jonas Jerebko, guys like that. And we talked about the need for a third scorer. So, no, KD's presence in that lineup would be tremendous. And here's the thing. I do think that the Warriors and KD will take into account the situation with the series.
Yes.
Now, I think Game 4 is definitely more likely than Game 3. So even if you're down 0-2, how ready is he going to be? But it's interesting that this news came out after they lost Game 1.
Agree.
Because Chris Haynes also said he's been doing on-the-court work earlier in the week. So why release this now? I talked about, obviously, the worst-case scenario for KD was coming to pass if they won the championship without him. But on the flip side,
best case scenario.
What a great look for KD. If they're down 2-1 and looking like they're hanging on for dear life, and he comes back, saves the day. If he saves the day, he might be Finals MVP.
Ain't no might, he will be.
Okay, if he's KD and they win it, he's Finals MVP. Wow. Here's the thing. Number one, it kills all that narrative about needing him. Doesn't totally remove the fact that you went there in the first place, but certainly puts that to rest a lot. And then does it change free agency? Like, and the question is he only thinking about leaving because for validation, because of the naysayers? You know, does he really like it there? But he knows he wants to get this image off of his back.
He'll never get the credit that he feels he deserves, and maybe he does deserve it as long as he's playing in that environment.
But if he saves the day, and then if you save the day, I would say to KD, if that scenario plays out, you come back, they're down 2-1, you win Finals MVP, you lead them to the championship, at least stay one more year. Because then go for 4 straight. Nobody else has done it since Bill Russell. Play in the new arena. And then you can leave the next year if you want. But this could work out great for KD if he's himself physically.
I agree with you. It's a great thing. I don't know any basketball team in the history of the game that couldn't use 30 points a night. And that's what KD gives you in the playoffs, 30 points a night. There's really no downside to him coming back, Skip, because he's the one guy that when your outside shots are not working, you can dump it down to him on the block, and he can turn around and shoot over his left or right shoulder over anyone. So him coming back now, not only is he a scoring option, he's the #1 scoring option because he's the one guy that can neutralize it. There's not enough traps. There's not enough defenses that can take a guy that's 7 foot tall with a trajectory of launching the ball at 10 feet tall, 10 feet high. So there's no downside to Kevin Durant. And considering that Iggy might be hurt more serious than we know, or might miss extended time, Skip, I don't know how you win this series or turn this series around without KD.
So now you don't think they can win the series without him?
Because Iggy gone.
Well, Iggy's saying he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Iggy said he was fine for this game, too, and pulled up lame, even after 9 days off. Remember, he missed the last game to play.
After he clawed the claw all night? Well,
he played. Iggy did play good defense.
So we're going to do the guard the trapping, to get the ball out of Kawhi's hand.
No, but Iggy did a great job. I mean, very few players one-on-one can stop any great player.
That's my point.
But Iggy did an exceptional job.
Well, I got to get me a new TV. I just got a new TV last year. Paid $3,000 for that 4K LED.
$3,000?
Yeah.
You got ripped off, man.
New TVs come out every year, 4K high def.
Yeah.
I just got a new TV.
I could have gotten you a much better deal.
I could have. Well, get me a deal that showed that they was trapping, and I'm gonna get my old TV to Chris.
My TV was saying that Iggy was the.
They trapped, but Iggy was the primary.
Was he?
So you see what Kawhi did on Draymond, and on Iggy too. You see what they shot?
No, he was.
Well, if Claw is as great as you say he is, what would it matter if KD came back? Because he just get clawed like everybody else.
I think the last time they went against each other, he had 51.
Yeah. Well, he dropped 37. And who won the game? Like Skip always tell me, who won the game, Chris?
Yeah.
That's what he do to me. Every time I tell LeBron dropped this.
You know who won the game? Right. Siakam.
That don't do that.
He did. Siakam scored 7 in overtime while Claw had 0 in overtime.
So hold on. It's the Toronto
Zeros.
Siakams. It's the Toronto Siakams.
So is this a situation if Kawhi doesn't win Finals MVP and they win it, you're not giving him credit?
Say that again?
If Toronto wins...
I'm okay if Toronto wins as long as Siakam's the MVP. Right?
Oh,
okay. I'm going to answer Jenny's question.
Yes.
We're losing focus here.
No, we're not.
A lot going on.
I'm going to quote my friend Sharpe Adamus across the table, who always says 2 things can be true, which I don't really get, but whatever.
Yeah,
but I'm going to throw this back at you. 2 things. Number 1, Kevin Durant is the best player on the planet. But number 2, I believe Golden State would have a better chance of winning this series without him.
Really?
It's just wrong place, wrong time, wrong fit. I don't love it. And again, we're all being prisoners of last night's moment right now. And you made the point, the story, isn't it interesting that Chris Haynes' story comes out after the loss, when obviously the locker room's a little bit like, maybe we need him.
Yeah.
Maybe we do. I think you're going to see hearts of champions in Game 2. I believe Golden State will win Game 2, and then it'll all go back to normal. I do believe they've been playing better basketball. They're not better on paper, but they've been playing better without him. And I thought Draymond's quotes were interesting to ESPN the day before, to Rachel Nichols. And she asked, how does it change with Kevin in your lineup and as far as it affects Draymond? He said, it completely changes everything. I have to be more of a scoring threat when Kevin's not out there. I have to really try to push the pace, blah, blah, blah. Well, they play completely differently without him.
And they have to.
Until last night.
Okay, but they were wrong place, wrong time last
I'm
night.
with
They
you
weren't
there.
ready for that. They scored 21 points in the first quarter because they are a little rusty, and they are up against the best defensive team in the playoffs. And if Anunoby comes back, boy, this is going to get a little dicey because he's another long defender in Game 2. But my point is, to your point, but Iggy, he's the asterisk here.
Yeah,
if he can't go, then all bets are off. But if he can, and he can play at the level he played at last night, and I don't know, he's the kind of guy who would just say, I'm going to go, and then maybe he can't.
Right.
If he can't actually push and go, well, then we got a whole different discussion.
Right.
But let's just do the hypothetical. Down 0-2, and Kevin says, I got to do this. I got to come back for Game 3. Maybe it's a little premature. Maybe he can't really. Does he re-injure?
That's
risky. Okay, it's pretty risky. But all of a sudden, on the fly, after you've been on this magical roll through the end of Houston and Portland, you're going to change the way back that you play to put him as the sun of your offense again, like where you got to circle around.
I'm with you. If things are going well, and I do expect them to win Game 2, and I expect them to win Game 3. So if you're up 2,
if that happens,
if you're up 2-1,
then he's not coming
I
back
think
to probably
things
Game
should
5.
change. And then look, they know what it's like to lose a 3-1 lead. So I don't think they're going to rest and say we don't need him. But I think for in KD's mind, should he come back if they're up 2-1? I don't know. I mean, this thing is...
I'm going to ask this question one more time because Chris Haynes wrote today that Durant this is from teammates, described Durant as being sick to his stomach for being a spectator for much of an important contest on the road in hostile Scotiabank Arena. Okay, but this is getting me. It bothers my psyche that he won't walk down there in civvies and just sit with his team and participate and cheerlead and clap and maybe lean into the sideline huddle and make a strategic suggestion. He's a smart guy.
Skip, but my thing is they make it like this is unique to KD. You don't think Kyrie was sick to his stomach or Kevin Love was sick to their stomach? That they couldn't play in the NBA Finals? Okay. Skip, I got hurt in the Super Bowl in the first quarter.
I know.
I was like, I don't know if I'm ever get back here.
You couldn't go. And they won without.
Yes.
I don't know how they did.
So
I don't know how. They did. I don't know how. It was a miracle. Was it not?
We were
but you shouldn't have even been on the field in the first place.
First of all, we were 14-2, so we had a very good team. We played 5 games without number 7.
And fortunately for you, Eugene Robinson had an issue the night before. Am I right?
What you want me to do?
That's one way to put it.
He did. He had an issue.
He had a trophy on the back seat. He told the lady to move the trophy.
Is that what I don't know. But that certainly disrupted and distracted your opponent.
Look, 30, it's hard to say, nah, bruh, leave 30 alone. We don't want 30 to come back and join us.
So you're saying, like, even if you're up?
Oh, no. If he's up, I don't see him coming back. I mean, it's risky for him considering what's at stake.
Yes.
Now, if he's planning on going back, come play, because they're going to max you out regardless. If you plan on coming back.
No
okay, but this is a fascinating conundrum for Kevin because this man right here, you said on your radio show last week, hey, if they win without him, it could be his worst nightmare. And Kevin's like, well, it's not my worst nightmare in life. And you're like, well, we're talking about basketball.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not talking about literally.
Okay.
If he does come back, Game 4 would be 4 weeks to the day of his injury.
And they say, what, 4 to 6 weeks?
Yep.
That's typically
to the day. And that's if he comes back. Is he going to be full strength? Is he? I mean,
See,
there's the whole.
He shouldn't risk
He's not even practicing. They said he's not practicing with the team.
No.
Steve Kerr says, well, I see him shooting a little bit.
He's doing
and for him,
activity.
he's not a set shooter.
No.
He's a jump shooter.
He is.
So that
push
calf,
it off. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, another guy that's a popular discussion with the Warriors, Drake. Now, he's getting in the mix. Is he going to regret talking trash to the Warriors? We will tell you more
Here we go.
next.
No mercy.
Adam Silver said yesterday that the NBA told Raptors superfan Drake, quote, there's got to be lines drawn with his antics on the sidelines in the playoffs. Last night, Drake, while wearing a Del Curry throwback jersey, appeared to listen to that note, but at the end of the game, not so much. Drake got into it with Draymond Green and appeared to call him, quote, trash. Draymond talked about the incident later, but he just didn't want to hear the word scuffle. Take a listen.
Just wanted you to talk a little bit about that post-game scuffle between you and Drake.
You got a question about basketball? It wasn't really a scuffle because I didn't hit him and he didn't hit me, or I didn't push him and he didn't push me. We talked. We barked a little bit, but I wouldn't necessarily consider that a scuffle. Not really what I personally would consider a scuffle.
All right, Chris Broussard still with us, but for Skip, I want to go here to you. How do you expect Drake to behave Game 2?
I'm going to answer this question because Drake is my guy, as opposed to not your guy.
Your guy's E40?
Yeah.
That's your guy?
40 water.
Yeah, your guy's only number 2, and you can have him. I was supremely disappointed in Drake last night for allowing the commissioner to dictate his behavior during that game, because he went completely into his shell, and he might have as well have been at church all through the 4 quarters of that game. And the only reason he came out of his shell is that Draymond was exiting the court after the buzzer, and he initiated, to my eyes, I'm guessing a little bit here, but it looked like Draymond initiated, as he called it, the barking. I think he barked first out of frustration.
Sure.
He had the cheapest triple-double you can have, 10-10-10, and it was almost a quadruple-double because he had 6 turnovers on the way toward 10. And I think he just looked for the biggest lightning rod in the building to go off on and try to create a little spark of controversy, because that's the way he motivates himself and his team. So he tries to get into it with Drake, and I think he enjoyed the back and forth, and Drake sort of got blindsided and reached for, let's see, I'm going to trash talk, so I'll call him trash. I'll call him trash, right? Not really inspired. The jersey was inspired because it
I
really,
love the jersey.
you mix the emotions of the Golden State Warriors because they're thinking, wow, Steph's dad's he was here. You know, like
Right.
Oh, okay.
I love that.
Yeah, it was perfect. Number 30, and that's why Steph wears number 30. But I want to see Drake be Drake. He's one of the greatest entertainers in this world.
On stage.
And he is on stage
No,
in that building.
he's not
He is
performing.
that building. He is their home court advantage.
They paid to see
He brings
Claw.
mystique there. They also pay to see him.
They played to see
He gives them a
Siakam.
little mojo.
It just gives them mojo. It gives them some aura because he's a big guy. He's bigger than the Claw. He just is. Is he not the most famous guy in the arena?
Yes, okay, but that's not his show.
Just show off a little bit.
No.
I don't care if he goes and gives Nick Nurse a little fake back rub. You know,
the commissioner and I do care.
Yeah, well, obviously he did. So he gave him a talking to.
Yes.
And Drake, he's on the masthead of the team. I don't know if he gets paid.
Global ambassador.
Yeah, whatever, but he is an ambassador. And my God, he's sitting 3 feet from the coach half the time. If he wants to stand up and act like
No,
okay, there's no problem there. He didn't go give a back rub to Budenholzer. You know, that would be out of bounds. And I told you earlier, it's not like he ran on the court after Van Vliet made a 3 and patted him on the butt and said, go, go, go. He doesn't cross the literal line onto the court. I want to see him stand up the way Spike Lee does and exchange a little.
Spike's been sitting down a lot of time with his wife, enjoying the game.
He is not. He's a super fan. Spike is far more animated than Drake. You've been there.
But Spike did sit a little bit. Look, what I hope the commissioner said to Drake was, you can't touch a coach or a player.
Well, he
all right?
did. He said
I'm
he
not
said
with
that.
the massaging, and I hope he said you can't be running up and down 15 feet on the
And
sideline.
clapping in guys opposing players' face.
Oh,
Well,
stop
see,
it.
I want everything else because I do think Drake has brought. It's just like Spike Lee. That was great. That's history. That's legend. That's lore.
You mean with Reggie?
Right, with Reggie. So I want Drake to bring that. And what I hope we see from Drake after this scuffle, you know, with Draymond, I hope he goes. If I'm Drake, I'm going at Draymond hard.
Why not?
You're the best defender in the world, really?
Really?
Siakam is killing you. Talk about he can't shoot. Like, really go at Draymond hard.
Because there's a lot to go at.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's what he should do in game 2. But do it either sitting or standing up in front of your seat. But you can't be roaming the side.
How about this here? This is what I know about super fans. What they do? They travel. When Drake goes show up in somebody else's building?
I give you that.
He should
I will
travel.
give you that.
I expect to see him. I
know
think
what?
he's going to travel.
He's
he better. Why not?
He's too big to travel.
That's not me. He's too big to travel.
There's no excuse for him not to.
But the fans are going to kill him if he's there.
Hey, that's part of it, right?
I don't.
Spike Lee traveled.
I remember
Spike Lee traveled.
Yes,
He went to Indiana where the fans were crazy.
Jack traveled.
Jack
traveled to Boston.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to travel.
Skip,
He's got to.
I guess.
See the thing, this is where you look at it. See, you're looking at like Drake's trash talking and he says Draymond is trash. But Draymond has already said, go pull a YouTube video and watch Drake play basketball.
Oh, guys,
or a man that can't play basketball to say something else. Because that's what fans skip on, and that's what they reach with me.
Okay.
You were trash. You couldn't even play. You rode Elway coattail. I'm like, dude.
They say that to you?
Yes.
I got to read that.
I'm like, dude, I'm looking at your profile. You 400 pounds. You couldn't play. You call me
Well,
trash.
that's the way life works.
But that's the thing, though. When somebody that you know couldn't do what you did say you trash. I mean, that's like me showing boy, you can't hit them bars like Kendrick Lamar. I mean, while you over there talking. 40 Water, the real lyricist out here.
Why should Drake even care what Shannon Sharpe thinks about his rapping ability?
Yeah, easy.
It's like way beneath Drake's
No, it's not. Because that hurt. Because see, everybody in their profession think they're really good.
Yeah.
And you want to be praised because see what you do is pat them on the back. Or he's a global, he's much bigger, he's so big. Nah, we bring it down to size where I'm from. Talk about you. Put you in your place.
Well, you did your fair share of that, right?
I mean, there were guys on the field, I was like, man, what's up? Man, coach told me I couldn't talk to you because you're going to try and get my head. I was like, man, forget coach, me and you boys.
Okay, so if you played for the visiting team in Toronto, would you engage with Drake?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely you would.
Absolutely.
You would, but now Draymond, I think, is mentally tough enough to engage with him. But some players shouldn't engage with it. Don't get off your game. Don't get off your game.
That's what I do. I'm engaged with everybody.
Yeah, I'm not worried about you. You don't need a lot of motivation.
Oh, yeah, I will give it to him.
But you know when the Clippers have challenged Draymond and talked or given him just wide open threes, he's answered.
Yeah.
So it could backfire on Drake and the Raptors.
Well, you know, he hit that one against Portland because he's right there in front of their bench and they're yelling and screaming, you can't shoot. And he hit it. And the first thing he did, he turned to their bench.
Yep.
So we're going to find out.
It's very important in game 2 because I'm with you. I think Golden State is going to reflex their muscles. They're going to say, we are champions and we're going to show you and we're going to put you back in your place. They're going to need Drake to come out of his shell in game 2.
Drake ain't shooting no shots.
Okay, I know, but he gives it's a mystique, a home mystique, because it sends a signal to Golden State, this perennial champion. They got a big guy rooting for them, like a big guy, the biggest guy. You don't think they're all Drake fans?
Chris,
Some of them are friends.
Chris, I don't know if you got in trouble. I mean, you sound like, you was all good.
He never got in trouble.
But let me tell you, when the teacher called your parents, that's one thing. When the principal called, this wasn't somebody in Adam Silver's office talking to Drake. This was Adam Silver, who's the commissioner of the commissioners right now. And he said, look here, bro, let me holler at you right quick.
What rapper ever listened to The Man?
He didn't say it like that. Drake is different in that regard. He doesn't have your typical hip-hop pedigree.
But here's the thing. This, and the rap community is big in the NBA. You know, you see them at All-Star games. They perform. They are the different type of entertainment going on the NBA games as opposed to NFL games, Skip. And so when the commish calls you and say, bro, I need to get at you right quick, you listen.
Well,
but he shouldn't. Silver should not tell him tone it down and verbally. Like verbally, he should be able to say whatever he wants. I mean, that's respectful.
See,
or within reason.
We live in a world that has boundaries, real or imaginary, and you crossed them, bruh. Now, don't make me get crunchy with you, Drake.
Adam didn't come anymore.
He didn't come anymore. But I thought if I was the commissioner, if a brother was a commissioner, that's what we thought.
Oh, Drake is just
no massages. That's it. No massages.
He has Steph and KD.
He does.
Well, and I'm going to give him a pass on the wristband because the wristband covered those tattoos up, right? Because otherwise, that's corny.
Hold up.
Otherwise, you might as well have put on a headband, some shorts, and a knee brace. Full uniform.
Why, if you a Raptor global ambassador, would you have Steph Curry and KD?
He clearly never thought the Raptors were going to get to the finals.
Exactly, that's my point. So how big a fan are you? So what you going to get? If Cowboys get back to the Super Bowl, you getting a tattoo? Or you getting a Zeke tattoo or a Dak tattoo?
I have no tattoos, and I will never have any tattoos.
You might as well go to get one. You a super fan. You a bigger fan of the Cowboys than Drake is as a Raptor.
Oh, I don't know that.
How do you
quantify that?
Easy.
You would not tattoo, even if you were a tattoo guy, another team's players.
No, I don't think that would be
And
any
so
of our style around here.
not
Enough Drake for now, I'd have to say.
I
Chris?
think it's time for Drake to be the MVP.
You're looking for that.
I think it's time for Drake to behave just like he did in Game 1.
We expect big things from him, Game 2.
Is he a man or a mouse? He was quiet as a mouse last night. I'm serious.
He's trying to get the man riled up, Chris. He's trying to get it riled up.
Man or a mouse?
Who are you? You are.
Security
That will go viral in Canada.
Yeah.
I called them soft and they went off on me, so that's they're gonna get
Chris, good stuff. I appreciate you being here.
Security's
Well, number
already been
2,
informed.
continue to struggle Game 2. We'll
He act
discuss
out,
all
take him
that
out.
next.
No mercy.
Kawhi Leonard scored 23 points in the Raptors' Game 1 win, but it wasn't in the typical Kawhi dominant fashion we've been used to in the playoffs so far, as he made only 5 of 14 shots for his 4th lowest scoring total of the playoffs. But Pascal Siakam picked up the slack, leading the way for Toronto with 32 points. So, Shannon, what do you expect from number 2 in Game 2?
Shannon.
I expect him to be Kawhi. I expect him to be the best player.
What does that mean?
You gonna let me explain?
I don't know.
I was gonna explain.
Okay.
Okay.
The quiet I know, or you know?
The one that we've seen the entirety of the playoffs.
Okay.
The Finals MVP, the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, the 2-time first-team All-NBA player. That's the guy I expect to see. The guy that will let the game come to him, not go to the ball game. He will not get out of character. He will not do anything to try to appease Skip Bayless. Talk about if you're that guy, you take the game over. That's not what he does. He lets the game come to him. If he's struggling to shoot the ball from the floor, he'll find a way to get to the free throw line. but he'll also make sure the guy that he's guarding won't have one of those monster games either. So I expect Kawhi to be Kawhi, somewhere around 25 points, probably 7, 8 rebounds, 5, 6 assists, do what he does, and guess what?
Only 25? Hadn't he scored 30-plus for like 30 games in a row?
When he 100%, right now he a little banged up.
Oh, so we're giving him the injury excuse. So you say he is hurt going to game 2.
He's been hurt.
Even though it's all the way to Sunday night before they play again.
Hold on, Skip.
Hold
you
on.
do realize they won what, Saturday night last week and played Thursday.
Okay.
And he's
still hurt.
And he's still hurt.
Does that mean he is perpetually hurt, as I said he was in San Antonio?
He might be fragile, but this is what I know about tendonitis, what the orthopedics that I've dealt with and dealt with some of the best all around the world. People fly and see them. Rest is the #1 cure for tendonitis.
Really?
Get off and stay off the knee.
Well, he had a whole, he rested for an entire basketball season last year.
He was
and then
dealing
he had
with
a whole offseason to rest.
He was dealing with
and then he
another
took
issue.
22 games off this year, and he's still not healthy
And he was
because he
rehabbing.
needs the injury excuse.
For what?
Because this stage is a little too big for him. Seriously, I'm going to stand by that. I'm not even being facetious when I say he will not rise and shine. What he gave you last night is what he's going to give you in game 2. It'll be similar stats. It's 23, 8, and 5. He had only 2 turnovers against Iggy, and I think they'll probably go up to 4. I think he'll have 4 turnovers in game 2. The X factor in this series has become the health of not number 2, but of Andre Iguodala. You say Iguodala. I was always taught.
Iguodala?
Yeah, I think it's Iguodala. That's what he told me. And it's funny because I had him on the old show a long time ago. It was like back in maybe 2013. And that was when he nicknamed me, ironically, the designated hater, the DH.
Yeah.
And he brought me a jersey with DH on it that I still have. That was from Andre Iguodala.
Okay.
It sounds weird to say Iguodala, but I think that's correct.
Okay, just Iggy.
Jersey.
All right, Iggy works. So the point is that now I'm the designated hater on number 2.
You are?
That he is assigned to take out of the game for Golden State. And last night he did a lockdown, lockup number on number 2.
I wouldn't go that far.
He did. He was special last
Skip,
night.
he missed some easy. He missed some bunnies right at the rim.
Okay, but listen, Iguodala struggled, as you pointed out, on offense. He missed all 4 of his threes because this took all of his focus and all of his energy was expended on the other end of the floor. Well, the guy is supremely talented. I've told you that from the start.
So imagine, guess who offense does not suffer when they have to lock people down? That guy.
He's really good. Once upon a time.
Great! Stop saying good.
Once upon a time in 2016, it was a long time ago, I said that he was playing at a higher level than your guy LeBron James.
And then what happened? He left your team and now he trash, huh?
Well, I didn't say he was trash. I've never called him trash.
He great.
Yeah. He doesn't not have the strongest basketball backbone.
Top 5.
He's a little fragile mentally and physically.
Say it with me. Top 5.
Yeah, well, okay. Did he look top 5 to you last night?
First of all, the best player that you say that's in the NBA, he's not playing.
Okay.
So Steph Curry is a top what? So whatever he is, so Kawhi's in that mix right there. So if Steph and Kawhi, they're 1 and 2, 2-1, however you want to look at it.
Okay, so you have Toronto winning game 2. I have Golden State. That's why I think he's going to be pretty quiet in game 2.
Well, you want to put some dew on that?
Well,
you don't believe in Kawhi. I believe in him.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take Golden State in game 2.
Okay, I got Kawhi for a case of dew.
For 1 case.
You want 1 case or 2 cases?
I'll take 1.
Okay, I'll take that too.
Okay, I'll take it. 2, I'll take.
I want 2. Okay.
2.
You got it.
Okay.
You like you trying to scare me or something about 2.
Huh? I'm good.
We're good?
I'm better than good. Kawhi gonna have that. Ooh, you see,
Yeah.
look at that thing. Look at that thing, freshly minted.
So you are now betting against the team that you picked to win the finals in 6 games.
Okay.
You know what you just did?
I did.
Okay.
I bet against my
So are
own
we
self-interest.
flipping or flopping?
I am not doing either. I'm trying to
Okay.
get my cases up.
Okay. All right. I'm
Because
good.
I'm tired of you bragging. I'm tired of every
Okay.
time Jenny, can you believe that I've taken 34 cases of dew off the Hall of Famer, the guy that played the game? Little old me, I didn't play. What do I know?
What do I know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know number 2 way better than you
heard
know
that
number 2.
before.
I know he gonna rise and shine. He gonna win me these cases on
Really?
Sunday.
Yeah, I really like Golden State. I do.
I like Golden State too, just not to win game 2.
Okay, so they're going to win 4 in a row to make you Sharpadamus again?
They might not win 4 in a row, Skip.
Okay.
They might, Skip. Here's the thing. If Golden State wins in 7 games, I still pick Golden State to win. I mean, I can be wrong. I had them to win. I had Toronto to win last night by 10. They won by 9. So I'm a liar. In the true sense of the word, because I was off my prognostication. I don't normally be off.
Okay. So once again, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire on this. You just bet 2 cases of dew on a guy that you say is hurt. So is he hurt or not hurt? Because now you're betting with not hurt emotion.
No, I'm not.
Right?
I'm betting that though he's injured or hurt, the terminology is unimportant to me, that he will be able to impact the game and he will be a reason why Toronto wins on Sunday. Skip, I don't know how I make it any clearer than that.
Okay.
What
so
else?
is he hurt or not? I just need to know.
Yes.
Yes, he's hurt.
Yes.
But he's going to do little big things?
He's going to impact the game.
Okay. So if that's true, if you're going to beat me out of 2 cases, then Siakam needs to have another 30-plus game. Is that what you're predicting?
No, he might not have that. But Kyle Lowry, I don't believe will shoot. What did he shoot?
2 of 9.
Okay, do you believe he'll shoot like that again?
Will he have 9 assists?
If he has 20, because remember the first game against Milwaukee, he had 30. And then the final game, he had like 25.
Okay. And you also predicted before the series started that Steph Curry will be the MVP. Are you switching your pick on that? I'm just telling you.
I picked Golden State. I picked Golden State to win.
You just bet 2 cases on the home team.
If Golden State wins, Steph Curry will be the MVP.
Okay.
I'm betting on one particular game. Game 2.
Okay. All right. I'm betting on Steph Curry, your MVP. My MVP was Klay Thompson. I thought he had a pretty good game last night, and I think he's still in position to continue to rise into an MVP
They're
role.
They're not winning this series unless Steph Curry continues to do what he does.
Okay. Well, he will do it on Sunday night, Heart of Champion.
That's what Kawhi got.
And you just made the big mistake of betting on number 2, 2 cases on number 2, right?
Yeah, you ride a gifted horse.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, he's in the power position because there won't be that much pressure on him because they won game 1.
Oh, there's pressure.
Yeah.
Because it's the first to 4.
Okay.
Not the first to 1.
All right. Well,
so right now I feel very good because I'm in the catbird seat.
Okay. So my disqualifier here.
No, there ain't no disqualifier.
If Iggy can't go, then it's
no.
Okay, well, I'll just concede. I still made the bet, but I will concede.
I want a case then.
Huh?
I'll let you back out of it right now for a case. Instead of 2 cases, you just have to pay me 1 case.
Okay, if he cannot go.
No. You can back out of the bet. You can rescind the bet, but you have to pay me 1 case now.
Heck no. I'm going to win.
Okay, well then
unless Iggy can't go because he's the primary defender.
2.
Huh?
2. I gave you an opportunity.
Yeah.
You could pay me 2 after Sunday's game, or you could pay me 1 right now.
Let's make it 3.
Okay.
3.
3.
I got 3 on Golden State on
Final
Sunday
offer?
night. 3. Thank you.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because somebody thinks he's going to be able to wear his cornrow wig on Monday,
This guy.
and this will be the telltale game.
Okay.
It may just have to stay up in the closet.
No.
Really all about the look for you.
And I got a Kawhi jersey.
Do you?
Yep.
Huh.
All right.
Gonna send it to him to have the autograph.
Is it a Spurs or a Toronto?
It's a Raptors.
It's a good
Yeah. If you have a Spurs one, that would really dig the knife in. You know.
I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing.
Don't do
Spurs.
that.
I don't want no broccoli soup.
Yeah. Okay.
How about we stay
Broccoli
talking
soup?
about game 2? What adjustments does Steve Kerr need to make sure they can get the win? We'll discuss
Here we go.
what he needs to do next.
No mercy.
Marcus Cousins made his return last night after missing the last 14 games with a quad injury, but he wasn't a factor. He came off the bench and only scored 3 points, going 0 for 2 from the field in 8 minutes. After the game, Steve Kerr said it's a huge adjustment for Boogie to play the Raptors after such a long absence. Draymond Green also took the blame for Pascal Siakam's huge game, promised to take him out of the series. So, Shannon, what adjustments does Steve Kerr have to make?
He's probably going to have to play Boogie, Skip. I know he probably doesn't want to play Boogie because Boogie needs the ball in order to be effective. And if you give Boogie the ball, that means Steph and Klay does not have the ball. But he's running out of bodies. KD's not going to play. We don't know if Iggy's going to play, and if he does play, how long and how effective can he be playing.
You hope he doesn't.
It doesn't matter to me because I got 3 cases on this, so I feel
Okay.
very comfortable. I feel very comfortable with where I am right now. he's going to have to go deep into his bench. And I know that's not what he wants. Normally, teams shorten their bench. The further they go in the playoffs, the shorter their bench gets. They want to know the guys they can count on. Your starter's going to play heavy minutes, somewhere up with 38 minutes a game. Kawhi played 43 last night. Steph was at 40. Draymond was at 40. Klay was at a little over 39. So that's what you see. Siakam played 39. Marc Gasol and Kyle Lowry would have played more minutes, but they got in foul trouble, so they had to rest. That's what you normally rely on. Well, no KD. Iggy's banged up. You're going to have to go to a guy that you know can get you buckets, but you don't know. That was the old Boogie. This Boogie has been out for, 6-8 weeks? And then he was coming off a major injury, so he was just rounding back into shape before he had to go take a seat again. So those are the only things that I can see. You know, they try to get the ball out of out of Kawhi's hand, but in trapping, you end up with Steph on Siakam, Steph on Marc Gasol, and that's what they want. So those are the only things that I can see him doing, Skip.
So, Jenny, this is ironic because the man across the table has been saying for a week or so, you cannot play DeMarcus Cousins in this series, right?
Right.
And then he just made a bet against Golden State, and now he's suggesting publicly that Steve Kerr go ahead and play Boogie.
I said those are the adjustments that I can see you making.
Okay.
What, so you want Drebko to play 35 minutes? Quinn Cook? Kevon Looney?
I do not want DeMarcus Cousins playing one more second. I need Steve Kerr to go to him today, tomorrow, maybe Saturday, and say, we love you. We want you back next year, because remember, he's going to be unrestricted again. But we do not need you right now. We have to go back to playing Andrew Bogut for 8 or 10 minutes because he can rim protect. He can defend at a much higher level than DeMarcus ever thought about. And I love him, especially as an offensive player, but we know that defense has never been his first priority.
And Bogut is the only guy that didn't get off the bench last night.
He didn't play a second last night, and that won't work. But the main change that Steve Kerr needs to make is not strategic, it's motivational. He needs to light a new fire under his team, and it probably got lit last night without him having to even lift a finger or open his mouth. But obviously, they got outplayed last night because they got their butts kicked by a team that just played a lot harder than they did. They weren't used to the RPM because they had just cakewalked through Portland. And I know they came back from 17, 18, and 17 down, but the RPM was different because this is the best defensive team in basketball. And you pick Steph to be the MVP of this series, and I think he will play up to MVP standards in Game 2.
He played well last night.
Because what have we said from the start? This is his opportunity to say, you know what? I don't have to have Kevin Durant to win a championship, even though he publicly swallowed his pride and went and recruited him after they blew the 3-1 lead to your LeBrons. Now is his chance. Now is his time to shine and say, I can do this. And they were on a roll. The narrative just got changed last night, and you were being prisoner of last night's moment.
He needs to rise and shine. He had 35, 5, and 5.
Okay, all right. But their team, I'm talking about diving for loose balls, fighting for offensive rebounds, and number one, just simply getting back on defense.
Right.
Draymond Green got embarrassed last night, and you know what? I think he has enormous raw pride right now, and he's going to stick it back in Siakam's face.
Well, you got Iggy missed, he missed 4 wide open threes. Draymond was 0 for 2. Steph and Klay 3 of 6, 4 of 9. They shot those guys. I mean, it was just Iggy gave him 6 points and Jordan Bell gave him 2.
Okay. What I'm saying is you're going to see a different look from the start from Golden State. You're going to see urgency and intensity because, to Chris Broussard's point, I think they did take Toronto a little lightly. Like, okay, they're kind of newbies, but they're really not newbies to this.
They beat you twice. Okay. Why are you underestimating somebody that's already beat you twice?
Okay, but they look back at those games and they said, okay, so number 2 didn't play one game, and Steph and Draymond didn't play in another game, so they didn't count.
Well, I can understand if they were going to take them lightly, Skip, if KD was there. But when you're undermanned and you're missing 30 points a night, once you get to a certain level, you realize this team can beat you. This is not an accident. They beat they beat 3 teams 4 times in order to get here.
Okay.
So clearly, they have the firepower to beat you.
They beat Orlando, then they beat a team that didn't really have Joel Embiid.
Yeah, they
and then
did.
they beat a Giannis who got exposed.
Yep.
Overrated.
It was Kawhi that pulled the curtain back so everybody could see him.
All right. Well, maybe the curtain's about to get pulled back on Toronto on
Probably
Sunday
not.
night for
not,
3
not,
cases.
Not before I get them 3 cases
I
up off
got
you.
this. I got
You
this.
said they're going to have a different look on Sunday. Will they do enough to bounce back? These two will make their final picks.
Yep.
No more
Here we go.
changing. Next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. The Raptors will try to take a commanding 2-0 lead over the Warriors in Game 2 Sunday back in Toronto. The Raptors are already a slight favorite in that game, and Kevin Durant is not expected to play until Game 3 at the earliest. So, Shannon, what will the score be Sunday?
You know, I've been spot on these things. I hate
You're
bad. I hate this. I hate this.
I know.
I'm going to say the Raptors win a closer. It'll be a little closer this time.
Uh-oh.
I got 115 to 109.
Really?
Now, McKinney made me into a lie.
That's not even that close.
Yeah, it is close. McKinney made me into a lie, Skip, because you know I had 10 points. I said Toronto, the Raptors would win by 10.
Yeah, after you had picked Golden State the day before to win the game. I'm just for the record.
Skip, I might have changed my mind.
Okay.
But who would have won the money?
There was no bet on it.
No, I said I would have won the money if I'd have went to Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't know how I won all those cases from you. I don't know. But... Okay, my turn. I agree with you only on 1 point.
What?
Down to the wire. I got a closer score than you do. I got 112-110 Golden State.
Wow.
Steph Curry will be transcendent in this game and show you that, no, he does not need Kevin Durant. And I believe that Draymond will retaliate against not only Siakam, but against Drake with fury. You're going to see all full-out Draymond. And I believe that Iggy will put the clamps on number 2 again and make him even quieter on the court than he sometimes is off the court.
I disagree. I vehemently disagree with that.
And finally...
You better hope Iggy can play.
Finally, I base my whole pick on it. My whole bet is on it.
I couldn't tell because you kept up in the ante, even though you didn't know if Iggy was going to play or how
He said he could play, and I'm going to trust in him. And finally, the shot that will win the game will be hit by Klay Thompson. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
112-110 visiting team.
My prediction, you'll be coming here Monday with 3 cases of due for
Really?
me.
We'll
That's
see if
my
you dress up. That is it for us. We'll be back Monday morning at 9:30 Eastern.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.